about vermicomposting with all of you. When we talk of vermicomposting, it is basically a organic manure. As we know in agriculture, nowadays everyone is focusing on, and it's highly needed to focus on organic agriculture. Apart from using the normal chemical sources which are ultimately polluting the uh, soil as well as our environment. So there is high need of organic manures, and vermicompost is one of them. So when we talk of vermicompost, it is a basically a soil enrich and making biodegradable agriculture waste into a useful organic source of nutrition for plants. And it is made by the use of earthworms. So vermicompost is an enriched compost prepared with the use of earthworms. इसमें क्या करते हैं हम कि जो एग्रीकल्चर वेस्ट रिसाइकल कर सकते हैं उनको यूज किया जाता है एक क्वालिटी कंपोस्ट बनाने के लिए। और इसमें जो हम अर्थवॉर्म्स यूज करते हैं बेसिकली उनका फंक्शन क्या होता है कि वो अर्थवॉर्म्स जो हम बायोमास यूज करते हैं या कोई भी वेस्ट यूज करते हैं उसको कंज्यूम करते हैं और उस फिर वो एक्सक्रीट करते हैं एक डाइजेस्टिव फॉर्म में जिसको हम वॉर्म कास्ट भी बोलते हैं। और ये जो वॉर्म कास्ट है जो एक्सक्रीटा है अर्थवॉर्म्स का इसको या वर्मी कंपोस्ट को एक तरह से काला सोना ब्लैक गोल्ड बोला जाता है। इट्स अ वेरी पॉपुलर नेम फॉर वर्मी कंपोस्ट। What are these casts? These casts are an organic nutritional source which are rich in nutrients, growth promoting substances. ये वर्मी कंपोस्ट जो होता है ये बहुत अच्छा ग्रोथ रेगुलेटर या ग्रोथ हार्मोन्स और एंजाइम्स प्रेजेंट होती हैं इसमें। And moreover beneficial soil microflora and having properties of, apart from providing nutrition, it also helps in inhibiting the pathogenic microbes like preventing diseases and pests. It is basically a stable, fine, granular organic manure which enriches soil quality, enrich करता है। कैसे करता है? सॉइल की फिजियोकेमिकल और बायोलॉजिकल जितनी भी प्रॉपर्टीज हैं उनको रेगुलेट करता है। ये ऑर्गेनिक सोर्स जब हम न्यूट्रिशन का सीडलिंग्स में या पॉट मिक्सचर्स में कहीं यूज करते हैं तो सॉइल के साथ साथ ये प्लांट को भी बेनिफिट करता है। उसके बाद इट इज हाईली यूजफुल इन रेजिंग सीडलिंग्स। वो ज्यादातर जो वर्मी कंपोस्ट है यूज किया जाता है नर्सरीज में या सीडलिंग्स रेज करने को। और साथ के साथ बड़े लेवल पे भी हम इसको यूज कर सकते हैं अगर प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो रही है तो क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन के लिए भी यूज होता है ये। और जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया कि ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग पे आजकल स्ट्रेस दिया जा रहा है और जरूरत है, नीड है, तो वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग एक मेजर कंपोनेंट है ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग सिस्टम का। तो अगर हम वर्मी कंपोस्ट की बात करें तो कौन कौन से चीजें हैं या वेस्ट हैं जिन चीजों से हम एक अच्छा वर्मी कंपोस्ट बना सकते हैं। ये सारी जितनी भी चीजें लिस्ट की गई हैं सारी वो चीजें हैं जो बायोडिग्रेडेबल हैं और दोबारा रिसाइकल की जा सकती हैं, यूज की जा सकती हैं। पर मोस्टली लोग यूज नहीं करते, इनको एज अ वेस्ट ही कंसिडर किया जाता है। अगर इनको हम यूज करें तो इनसे बहुत अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स यील्ड हो सकते हैं। जैसे कि इनमें से बायोडिग्रेडेबल वेस्ट जो हम यूज कर सकते हैं, क्रॉप रेजिड्यूज, कोई भी पैडी का रेजिड्यू है, वीट का रेजिड्यू है, किसी भी तरह कोई वेजिटेबल क्रॉप का रेजिड्यू है या कोई लीफ लिटर है जैसे वीट बायोमास हो गया, वेजिटेबल वेस्ट हो गया, कोई वेजिटेबल्स हम कंज्यूम करते हैं उनका कोई वेस्ट है, डेली किचन वेस्ट वो भी यूज किया जा सकता है। लीफ लिटर यूज किया जा सकता है, द फॉलन लीव्स, द होटल रिफ्यूज जो खाना है, खाना एक्स्ट्रा बचता है या कोई वेजिटेबल्स बचती हैं उनको यूज किया जा सकता है। वेस्ट फ्रॉम एग्रो इंडस्ट्रीज जितनी भी हैं उनके वेस्ट हैं जो ऐसे ही थ्रो किए जाते हैं उनको एक यूजफुल तरीके से यूज किया जा सकता है। फिर बायोडिग्रेडेबल, जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया सारे बायोडिग्रेडेबल सोर्सेज ही यूज कर रहे हैं हमने अर्बन एंड रूरल वेस्ट के। कोई भी इन नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल सोर्स यूज नहीं कर सकते हम इसमें, जैसे प्लास्टिक हो गया, कोई ग्लास का हो गया, वो चीजें नहीं यूज करनी। उसके बाद वर्मी कंपोस्ट बेसिकली है कि एक ऑर्गेनिक मेन्योर है जो क्या है जितने भी वेस्ट डाल के उस पे बेसिक जो काम होता है वो अर्थवॉर्म्स का होता है। एक अर्थवॉर्म की स्पीशी यूज करती है जो कि उसको कंज्यूम करके उसको एक साइकिल के दौरान कंज्यूम करती है और एक्सक्रीटा रिलीज करके एक हेल्दी कंपोस्ट तैयार करती है। तो उनमें बेसिक जो स्पीशीज अर्थवॉर्म्स की यूज होती हैं या यूज कर सकते हैं उनमें से है इसिनिया फिटिडा जिनको रेड अर्थवॉर्म कहा जाता है। दूसरा है यूड्रेलस एजुने नाइट क्रॉलर्स भी हैं ये, एंड तीसरा पेरियोनिक्स एक्सावेटस। ये तीन स्पीशीज हैं, बट इन तीन में से जो मोस्ट यूजफुल स्पीशी है, जो ज्यादा प्रेफर किया जाती है, वो रेड अर्थवॉर्म। सबसे पहली एसिना फिटिडा। इसको क्यों प्रेफर किया जाता है? एक तो इसका मल्टीप्लिकेशन रेट बहुत ज्यादा है, ये बहुत जल्दी रैपिडली मल्टीप्लाई करती है। दूसरा क्या है कि ऑर्गेनिक मैटर को बहुत जल्दी 40-45 दिन में, हार्डली 50 डेज में हमें एक अच्छा कंपोस्ट तैयार करके दे देती है। दूसरा क्या है कि ये सरफेस फीडर्स हैं। तो ये ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल नो वर्मी कंपोस्ट की तरफ अगर ट्रांसफर करते हैं तो टॉप से शुरू करते हैं। अगर हम कोई बेड बनाते हैं, वर्मी कंपोस्ट की शीट बनाते हैं, तो ये टॉप से शुरू होते हैं, नीचे तक जाते हैं। ये सब कुछ करेक्टरिस्टिक्स हैं रेड अर्थवॉर्म्स के। जैसे ये अगर आप नोट करना चाहे तो, जैसे बॉडी लेंथ कितनी होती है, बॉडी वेट कितना होता है, मेच्योरिटी 50-55 दिन की होती है, कन्वर्जन रेट अगर देखा जाए तो 2 क्विंटल 1500, बेसिकली 1000 से 1400 या 1500 अर्थवॉर्म्स हम यूज करते हैं जो हमारा वेजी वर्मी कंपोस्ट बेड तैयार करते हैं उसके लिए। उसके बाद कोकून प्रोडक्शन 1 in every 3 days, एंड देन इज इंक्यूबेशन ऑफ कोकून 20 to 23 days। अब बेसिकली हमने अर्थवॉर्म्स तो यूज कर ली। अर्थवॉर्म्स को यूज करने के लिए इनको बेसिक इनकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है? इनको बेसिक 5 चीजें चाहिए होती हैं अर्थवॉर्म्स को। सबसे पहला, एक हॉस्पिटेबल लिविंग एनवायरनमेंट, जैसे कि बेडिंग। जो हम लीफ लिटर या कोई भी बायोडिग्रेडेबल वेस्ट यूज करते हैं, उसकी एक प्रॉपर बेडिंग बनी हो जिसपे ये रह सकें या कंज्यूम कर सकें अपना फूड। दूसरा, फूड सोर्स, उसमें जो इनके काम का फूड सोर्स है वो होना चाहिए। तीसरा, एडिक्वेट मॉइस्चर। इसमें वर्मी कंपोस्ट में और अर्थवॉर्म्स के लिए मॉइस्चर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है। तभी जब हम इसको आगे, मैं आपको बताऊंगा जब बनाएंगे, तो रेगुलरली वाटर स्प्रिंकल करना, वाटरिंग करते रहना बहुत जरूरी है। तो एडिक्वेट मॉइस्चर, मोर देन 50% मॉइस्चर वाटर कंटेंट बाय वेट होना चाहिए। एडिक्वेट एरिएशन, एरिएशन बहुत जरूरी है। जिस मेथड में या आपके तरीके में एरिएशन नहीं होगी तो अर्थवॉर्म्स के लिए भी और उसके वर्मिंग कंपोस्ट प्रेपरेशन के लिए भी अच्छा मेथड नहीं होगा। वो भी हम आगे पढ़ेंगे। उसके बाद आ गया प्रोटेक्शन फ्रॉम टेम्परेचर एक्सट्रीम्स। तो जो अर्थवॉर्म्स होते हैं बेसिकली ये रिस्पायर बाय देमसेल्व्स करते हैं, इसीलिए इनको अपनी बॉडी से रिस्पायर करते हैं ये, इसीलिए इनको टेम्परेचर रिजाइम से बचाना बहुत मुश्किल जरूरी होता है। ये ना तो ज्यादा सनलाइट होनी चाहिए, शेडी कवर्ड प्लेस में ही होना चाहिए जो हम बनाएंगे कंपोस्ट, और ना ही कोई रेनी प्लेस में होना चाहिए। ये दोनों चीजें ही कंडीशंस इनके लिए फेवरेबल नहीं है। फिर आ जाते हैं टाइप्स ऑफ वर्मी कंपोस्ट। कौन कौन से तरह के? तो वर्मी कंपोस्ट की टाइप बेसिकली डिपेंड करती है अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, कितनी अमाउंट वर्मी कंपोस्ट प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, या कंपोस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स किस तरह के है। बेड मेथड है, कोई ट्रेंच मेथड है, या कोई अपना पिट मेथड है, कौन सा मेथड है? फर्स्ट आते हैं स्मॉल स्केल वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग। स्मॉल स्केल वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग जो फार्मर्स अपने डेली नीड्स के लिए या नॉर्मल एक छोटा फार्मर कर सकता है टू मीट द पर्सनल रिक्वायरमेंट। उसमें 5 से 10 टन वर्मी कंपोस्ट एनुअली प्रोड्यूस कर सकता है, जिससे वो अपनी नर्सरी या सीडलिंग्स या पॉट मिक्सचर्स रेयर कर सकता है। दूसरा होता है लार्ज स्केल वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग, जो बड़े स्केल पे क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन के लिए यूज की जा सकती है। दैट इज डन ऑन कमर्शियल स्केल बाय रिसाइकलिंग large quantity waste, and it produces more than 50 to 100 tons of vermicompost annually। फिर हमारे आ जाते हैं, जैसे हमने बात करी थी कि मेथड्स कौन कौन से यूज करने हैं। एक बेड मेथड है, एक पिट मेथड है। दो मेथड्स हम इसमें स्टडी करेंगे, बाकी दो मेथड्स इसके और भी तरीके हैं बनाने के, पर जो मोस्ट पॉपुलर मेथड्स हैं वो बेड और पिट मेथड्स हैं। बेड मेथड जैसे आप फोटो में देख सकते हैं, एक नॉर्मल 6x2x2 का साइज का एक कच्चे फ्लोर पे, कच्चा फ्लोर भी ऐसे ना हो कि मिट्टी या सॉइल है जो नीचे की डीली हो, क्यों? क्योंकि नहीं तो अर्थवॉर्म्स अंदर चले जाएंगे, उसके अंदर चले जाएंगे। तो एक नॉर्मल रफ सा सरफेस होना चाहिए कच्चा, या फिर पक्का फ्लोर ही हो इस साइज का हो। उसमें आप ऑर्गेनिक मिक्सचर यूज कर सकते हैं। वो यूज करके उसके बाद उस पे अर्थवॉर्म्स छोड़ने हैं हमने। तो ये मेथड बेसिकली बहुत इजी है मेंटेन करना या प्रैक्टिस करना। एक नॉर्मल तरीके से आप खुला बेड भी बना सकते हो, या एक ब्रिक्स से लेके आप इस डायमेंशन का एक लेंथ और ब्रेड्थ का एक बना सकते हैं आप एरिया, ब्रिक्स की कवरिंग करके, ताकि बाहर ना जाए हीप है जो आपकी, और उसके अंदर आप रियर कर सकते हैं इसको। दूसरा आता है पिट मेथड। पिट मेथड है ये एक प्रॉपरली कंस्ट्रक्टेड पिट्स होती हैं सीमेंटेड बनाई जाती हैं कि उसके अंदर ही हमने वर्मी कंपोस्ट क्रिएट करना है। इट इज डन इन सीमेंटेड पिट्स ऑफ 5 by 5 into 3 feet size. Then it is a unit. This unit is also covered with thatch grass, या किसी भी तरह पे लोकल अवेलेबल मटेरियल से कवर कर सकते हैं ताकि उसका मॉइस्चर बना रहे। उसके बाद आता है दिस मेथड इज नॉट अप्रोप्रिएट, बट ये मेथड क्यों नहीं अप्रोप्रिएटली, मैंने जैसे पीछे बात की थी कि अर्थवॉर्म्स को प्रॉपर मॉइस्चर और एरिएशन चाहिए होती है। तो इस मेथड में सबसे बड़ी कमजोरी है जो इस मेथड की, पिट मेथड की, यही है कि इसमें एरिएशन पुअर है। क्यों? क्योंकि चारों तरफ से ये कवर्ड है, प्रॉपर पिट बनी हुई है सीमेंटेड, तो एरिएशन नहीं होती। और दूसरी वाटर लॉगिंग की प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है जिससे अर्थवॉर्म्स पे एरिएशन और वाटर लॉगिंग का सीधा इफेक्ट होता है। और मोर ओवर कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन भी ज्यादा है। क्यों? क्योंकि जो बेड मेथड था वो तो सिंपल, आपने बेड बनाया या ब्रिक्स की लाइनिंग बना ली या सिंपल बेड बना लिया, कोई ज्यादा कॉस्ट नहीं। इसमें आपको पूरी प्रॉपर जो इसकी पिट बनाने की है वो कॉस्ट पड़ती है। फिर आ जाता है हमारा प्रोसेस ऑफ वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग। चाहे कोई भी मेथड, दोनों में से हम यूज करें, प्रोसेस क्या है वर्मी कंपोस्ट बनाने का। एक तो सबसे पहले जो ध्यान रखने वाली चीज है, कूल मॉइस्ट एंड शेडी साइट होनी चाहिए। क्यों? क्योंकि इस ना तो रेनफॉल का इफेक्ट होना चाहिए, वो भी फेवरेबल नहीं है अर्थवॉर्म्स के लिए, ना कंपोस्ट के लिए। और ना ही कोई सनलाइट या डायरेक्ट सन का एक्सपोजर होना चाहिए, वो भी अर्थवॉर्म्स के लिए सही नहीं है। दूसरा, काउ डंग एंड चॉप ड्राई लीफ मटेरियल, दे आर मिक्सड इन प्रोपोर्शन। फिर इसका प्रॉपर प्रोपोर्शन में मिक्स कर लो आप, 3:1, ताकि पार्शियल डीकम्पोजन हो सके। और पार्शियल डीकम्पोजिशन में आपके 15 से 20 दिन, हार्डली 25 दिन लगते हैं। तो जो आप कंपोस्ट डालोगे, मटेरियल डालोगे, वो 3:1 में डालना है। दूसरा, एक 15 से 20 सेंटीमीटर की चॉप ड्राई लीव्स या ग्रासेस शुड बी केप्ट एज बेडिंग मटेरियल इन द बॉटम ऑफ द एट द बॉटम ऑफ द बेड। वो इसीलिए ताकि एक बेडिंग मटेरियल नीचे बन जाए। अगर आप सिर्फ दूसरी चीजें यूज करोगे तो आप कोई भी चीज, पानी डालोगे या कुछ डालोगे, वो सीधा नीचे ड्रेन होता जाएगा। तो एक कोई हमारे चॉप्ड ड्राइड कोई भी लीव्स या ग्रास एज अ बेडिंग मटेरियल नीचे बेड बनाने को हम उसको यूज कर सकते हैं। और उसके ऊपर वो जो हमारा लीफ लेटर या कोई काव डंग है या कुछ मटेरियल वो डालना है। उसके बाद बेड्स है जो पार्शियल डिकम्पोज, वो साइज जो बेड का रखना है वो 6 by 2 by 2, जो मैंने पीछे भी बताया था आपको, वो होना चाहिए। फिर हर बेड पे 1.5 से 2 क्विंटल का रॉ मटेरियल, जो हम अमाउंट ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल कितना यूज करना है, कोई भी कम बायोडिग्रेडेबल वेस्ट यूज कर रहे हैं, वो 1.5 से 2 क्विंटल का होना चाहिए। तो नंबर ऑफ बेड्स आप इंक्रीज कर सकते हो, आपकी कितनी रिक्वायरमेंट है या आपके पास रॉ मटेरियल कितना अवेलेबल है, उसके हिसाब से आप नंबर ऑफ बेड्स इंक्रीज डिक्रीज कर सकते हो। ज्यादा इसकी एक ये चीज ध्यान रखनी है कि जब आप बेड में मेथड बना रहे हो या वर्मी कंपोस्ट बना रहे हो, क्यों यहाँ पे नंबर ऑफ बेड्स इंक्रीज करने की रिक्वेस्ट करी गई है कि हाइट उसकी 2 फीट ही रखनी है, 2 फीट से हाइट बेड की नहीं रखनी है जो आपने। क्यों? क्योंकि जो अर्थवॉर्म्स है हमारे, बेसिकली वो सरफेस फीडर्स होते हैं, वो ऊपर ऊपर फीड करते हैं। अगर ज्यादा हाइट रखोगे तो हमारा आधा बेड आधा कंपोस्ट तैयार ही नहीं होगा, वहां पे अर्थवॉर्म्स पहुंचेंगे नहीं। उसके बाद रेड अर्थवॉर्म्स है, 1500 से 2000 अर्थवॉर्म्स रिलीज होने चाहिए अपर लेयर ऑफ बेड पे, वो अपने आप अंदर चले जाएंगे। उसके बाद वाटर स्प्रिंकल होना चाहिए डेली अर्थवॉर्म के रिलीज के बाद, ताकि मॉइस्चर कंटेंट बेड का और अर्थवॉर्म्स के लिए प्रॉपर मॉइस्चर बना रहे। दूसरा, उसके बाद बेड शुड बी केप्ट मॉइस्ट बाय स्प्रिंकलिंग वाटर डेली एंड गनी बैग्स। आगे फोटो में आपको दिखाऊंगा कि जैसे मैंने बोला था कि मॉइस्चर कंटेंट के लिए बता देते हैं कि थैच ग्रैश या किसी चीज से कवर कर दो, वैसे ही हम गनी बैग्स भी यूज कर सकते हैं मॉइस्चर रिटेन करने के लिए। उसके बाद बेड शुड बी टर्न्ड, और हर जो भी आप बेड बना रहे हो खुले में, उसको हर 30 दिन बाद बेड को टर्न डाउन करना चाहिए, ताकि एक तो एरिएशन बनती रहे, एक प्रॉपर हर लेयर की हर जगह से कंपोस्ट की प्रॉपर डीकम्पोजिशन होती रहे। तो क्योंकि आप टर्निंग करते रहोगे तो एक एरिएशन भी मिलती रहेगी, और जब टर्न करोगे तो हर पार्ट तक अर्थवॉर्म्स पहुंचेंगे और हर पार्ट इक्वली डीकम्पोज होगा। और जो इसका कंपोस्ट है वो हार्डली 45 से 50 दिन में बनके तैयार हो जाता है। वैसे 60 से 90 दिन भी ले जाते हैं हम इसको बनाने के लिए, वो डिपेंड करता है रॉ मटेरियल पे। नॉर्मली 45 से 50 दिन में बनके तैयार हो जाता है। जो फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट, जो लास्ट एंड प्रोडक्ट होता है हमारा, वो 3/4 ऑफ द रॉ मटेरियल यूज होता है। जो हमारा रॉ मटेरियल जितना हम यूज करते हैं उसका 75% हमें मिल जाता है ऑलमोस्ट, क्योंकि थोड़ा तो वो अर्थवॉर्म्स भी कंज्यूम कर देते हैं। और जो एक्सक्रीट करते हैं वो फाइनल प्रोडक्ट 3/4 होता है। ये आ गई हमारी पिक्चर्स, जैसे हमने पीछे बात करी थी। पहला बेड ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल्स, फिर ये होते हैं हमारे रेड अर्थवॉर्म जो यूज किए जाते हैं। तीसरा, अपनी नेक्स्ट फिफ्थ फिगर इज वाटरिंग ऑफ बेड्स। इसी तरह वाटर स्प्रिंकल करते रहना चाहिए। और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कि बेड्स को गनी बैग से कवर करो ताकि हमारा प्रॉपर मॉइस्चर बना रहे। फिर उसके बाद आ जाती है हार्वेस्टिंग। वर्मिंग कंपोस्ट की हार्वेस्टिंग के दो तीन तरीके होते हैं। एक तो होता है आप उसकी हीप्स बना दो, इस तरह हीप्स बना दो। हीप्स बना दोगे तो जो अर्थवॉर्म्स के हैं वो इसकी जो हीप की जो ढेर की नुक्करें होती हैं वहां आना शुरू हो जाते हैं। तो आप ऊपर से वर्मिंग कंपोस्ट इजीली कलेक्ट कर सकते हो। ये एक हार्वेस्टिंग मेथड है। दूसरा, एक हार्वेस्टिंग मेथड और है कि इसकी ना जो जब हमारा इंटायर 50 दिन का कंपोस्ट बन जाता है तो उसके बाद हम इसे क्या करते हैं कि कुछ बॉल्स बना देते हैं। चार नुक्करों पे बॉल्स रख देते हैं, चार पांच जगह पे हीप के नुकरों पे बॉल्स रख दो। अर्थवॉर्म्स हैं जो हमारे, वो वहां पे वो बॉल्स को सराउंड करने लग जाते हैं, तो अर्थवॉर्म्स वहां आ जाते हैं। तो फिर हम बीच में से सेंटर वाला जो प्रिपेयर्ड कंपोस्ट है वो कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। दिस इज ऑल हार्वेस्टिंग, कि रॉ मटेरियल डिकम्पोज हो जाए। और जब इसका रॉ मटेरियल डिकम्पोज होगा तो आपको तभी इसको ब्लैक गोल्ड बोला जाता है। ग्रेनुलर सा हो जाएगा फॉर्म और ब्लैक कलर का होता जाएगा। दूसरा, वाटरिंग स्टॉप कर देनी चाहिए। ठीक है। तीसरा, इट शुड बी केप्ट ओवर अ हीप ऑफ पार्शियली डिकम्पोज काउ डंग। एक ये तरीका भी है कि आप एक पार्शियली डिकम्पोज काउ डंग ले लो और जो हमारा वर्मी कंपोस्ट बन गया है 50 दिन के बाद उसको उसके ऊपर रख दो। तो ये भी हम ऊपर ऊपर से कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि जो वर्मी कंपोस्ट में बने हुए में अर्थवर्म्स होंगे वो धीरे धीरे नीचे काउडंग में जाना शुरू हो जाएंगे। देन आफ्टर 2 days कंपोस्ट कैन बी सेपरेटेड। फिर उसको 2 दिन के बाद हम सेपरेट करके सीव करके यूज कर सकते हैं। जैसे लास्ट पिक्चर में ये प्रॉपर सीव किया हुआ फाइनल प्रोडक्ट है हमारा। इसमें बेसिकली जो ध्यान रखने वाली प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स हैं मोस्टली हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं पहले ही। बट फर्स्ट इज के फ्लोर है जो वो होना चाहिए, कंपैक्ट होना चाहिए टू प्रिवेंट अर्थवर्म्स माइग्रेशन इनटू द सॉइल। जैसे मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया था कि अगर आप कच्चे फ्लोर पे कर रहे हो तो बिल्कुल कच्चा या लूज फ्लोर नहीं होना चाहिए, नहीं तो अर्थवर्म्स नीचे चले जाएंगे सॉइल में। दूसरा, 15 to 20 days ओल्ड काउ डंग शुड बी यूज्ड टू अवॉइड एक्सेस हीट। कभी भी जो काउ डंग आपने यूज करना है इसमें वो फ्रेश नहीं यूज करना, क्योंकि फ्रेश का जो टेम्परेचर है बहुत ज्यादा होता है, हीट एक्सेस हो जाती है। इसलिए 10 15 दिन 20 दिन का पुराना काउ डंग यूज करना है ताकि उसका टेम्परेचर लो और हीट जो है एक्सेस ना हो हमारे मटेरियल में। तीसरा, ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट है जो शुड बी फ्री। कोई भी नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल वेस्ट नहीं यूज करना। कोई प्लास्टिक, केमिकल, पेस्टिसाइड या मेटल किसी तरह का ऐसा प्रोडक्ट नहीं यूज करना। तीसरा, एरिएशन प्रॉपर मेंटेन होनी चाहिए ग्रोथ एंड मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑफ अर्थवॉर्म्स के लिए और हमारे प्रॉपर एक क्वालिटी प्रोड्यूस के लिए। तीसरा जो है हमारा ऑप्टिमम मॉइस्चर लेवल 30 से 40%, एडिक्वेट ऑलमोस्ट 35% होता है मॉइस्चर है जो मेंटेन होना चाहिए। और जो 18 से 25 डिग्री सेल्सियस का टेम्परेचर मेंटेन करके रखना है ताकि प्रॉपर डीकम्पोजिशन हो। और ये टेम्परेचर आपका तभी मेंटेन होगा अगर ये कोई एक कूल मॉइस्ट शेडी प्लेस में होगा। ना तो ज्यादा रेनफॉल या वो चीज का इफेक्ट होना चाहिए, ना ही ज्यादा सन का इफेक्ट होना चाहिए कि टेम्परेचर ज्यादा हो जाए, अर्थवॉर्म्स ही मर जाएं या वो मल्टीप्लाई ना कर पाए और डीकम्पोजिशन ना हो। उसके बाद आ जाता है हमारा जो इसमें न्यूट्रिएंट कंटेंट कितना होता है वर्मी कंपोस्ट में। द लेवल ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स है जो वर्मी कंपोस्ट में वो डिपेंड करता है किस तरह का रॉ मटेरियल यूज किया है। क्योंकि जो रॉ मटेरियल यूज कर रहे हो एक्चुअली उसमें भी तो न्यूट्रिएंट्स हैं ना। काउ डंग में अलग तरह से होते हैं, पोल्ट्री मेन्योर में अलग तरह से होते हैं, है ना। हर मेन्योर में हर जो यूज करते हैं रेजिड्यू उसमें अलग परसेंटेज ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं। और स्पीशीज कौन सी यूज कर रही हो। जो एक अच्छा कास्ट होता है वो एनपीके के अलावा अदर न्यूट्रिएंट्स में भी रिच होता है। न्यूट्रिएंट्स इन वर्मी कंपोस्ट रेडली अवेलेबल फॉर्म में होते हैं। जिस भी आप किसी पॉट मिक्सचर में यूज करते हो, नर्सरी में यूज करते हो, सीडलिंग्स रेज करते हो या कोई ट्रीज में यूज कर सकते हो, तो वो सीधा रेडली अवेलेबल फॉर्म में हो जाता है। और जब आप डालते हो तो विद इन अ मंथ, थोड़े दिनों में वो प्लांट को अवेलेबल होना शुरू हो जाता है। अगर न्यूट्रिएंट एनालिसिस की जाए इसकी तो कुछ पैरामीटर्स या कंटेंट हैं, जैसे पीएच 6.8 तक रहती है, उसी परसेंटेज इतनी होती है। अवेलेबल एनपीके जो 0.5 0.3 0.24 इस रेंज में रहती है। और जो हमारे कैल्शियम और मैग्नीशियम सेकेंडरी न्यूट्रिएंट्स हैं वो भी 0.17 एंड 0.06% इसमें अवेलेबल होती हैं। उसके बाद आ जाती हैं एडवांटेजेस। एडवांटेजेस क्या है इसकी? एक तो ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट है, जो एनिमल रेजिड्यू है, या हमारा कोई वो वेस्ट है जो हम जिसे यूज नहीं कर रहे, या एक यूजफुल वेस्ट को हम थ्रो कर रहे हैं, उसकी एफिशिएंट कन्वर्जन करता है। दूसरा, स्टेबल एंड एनरिच सॉइल कंडीशनर है। जितनी भी आप सीडलिंग्स रेयर करोगे उनके लिए एक अच्छा ग्रोथ प्रमोटर या ग्रोथ रेगुलेटर काम करता है। पैथोजेनिक माइक्रोब्स कम करता है। और इसमें ये होती है कि ये क्रॉप को या आपकी सीडलिंग्स को पेस्ट डिजीजेस से लड़ने में मदद करता है। दूसरा, टॉक्सिसिटी ऑफ हैवी मेटल्स रिड्यूस करता है। उसके बाद इकोनॉमिकली वाइबल एंड एनवायरमेंटली स्टेबल न्यूट्रिएंट सप्लीमेंट है। कोई इसमें ज्यादा कॉस्ट नहीं पड़ती आपको, वही वेस्ट आपके यूज हो जाते हैं। ठीक है। दूसरा, एनवायरमेंटली सेफ है केमिकल मीन से, जबकि केमिकल मीन्स आप यूज करते हो तो वो उससे आपकी सॉइल एज वेल एज एनवायरमेंट पोल्यूट होती है। एक इजीली अडॉप्टेबल लो कॉस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी है। अगर हम इसकी डोजेस की बात करें कि वर्मी कंपोस्ट की मोस्टली कोई पूछ लेता है कि डोजेस किस हिसाब से यूज करनी है, वो डिपेंड करती है आप कौन सा क्रॉप यूज कर रही हो, या फील्ड में करनी है या नर्सरी में चाहिए आपको। जैसे फ्रूट क्रॉप्स में ट्री बेसिन में ही हम यूज कर सकते हैं बेसिकली, या पॉट ऑर्नामेंटल क्रॉप्स कोई पॉटेड हैं तो पॉट मिक्सचर यूज कर सकते हैं। जैसे नीचे क्रॉप्स है, फील्ड क्रॉप्स के लिए 5 to 6 टन पर हेक्टेयर तक की रिक्वायरमेंट हो जाती है डोज की। देन फ्रूट क्रॉप्स 3 से 5 किलो पर प्लांट, क्यों? क्योंकि इसके तो ट्री बेसिन पर प्लांट यूज करेंगे। अगर पॉट्स में करनी है तो 100-200 ग्राम पर पॉट हम इसका मिक्सचर यूज कर सकते हैं एज अ पॉट मिक्सचर। बेसिकली ये इसके बेनिफिट्स में अगर मेनली बात करें तो हम जो लोग जिनके पास डेयरी यूनिट्स है ना, उनके लिए बहुत प्रॉफिटेबल वेंचर है। क्यों? क्योंकि जो काऊ डंग है या उनका डेयरी का वेस्ट है, या कोई भी दूसरी वेस्ट है उनके, जो वैसी वेस्ट जा रही है थ्रो कर रहे हैं, वो इसमें वर्मी कंपोस्ट प्रेपरेशन में यूज हो सकती हैं, और उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा ऑल्टरनेटिव है ये। तो जो अप्रोप्रिएट कॉस्ट या बेनिफिट है वो नीचे लिखे हुए हैं। जैसे अगर हम इसमें स्केल के हिसाब से हमने डिवाइड किए हुए हैं कि स्मॉल स्केल, मीडियम स्केल या लार्ज स्केल पे कितनी अप्रोप्रिएट कॉस्ट आती है पर एनम, एनुअल कॉस्ट, या कितना बेनिफिट होता है, या कॉस्ट बेनिफिट रेशियो। तो आप दे सकते हो जैसे 52,000 क्या है स्मॉल स्केल पे, तो बेनिफिट इसका 90,000 तक हमें प्रोवाइड होता है। जबकि कॉस्ट बेनिफिट रेशियो अगर देखी जाए तो 1 to 1.73 हो जाती है। जैसे जैसे इसको लार्ज स्केल पे करते जाएंगे तो ये बहुत ज्यादा जगह यूज हो सकता है, मशरूम कल्टीवेशन में, या हमारे लार्ज स्केल क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन में, या टर्मेरिक में। बहुत चीजों में, बहुत क्रॉप्स में लार्ज स्केल पे यूज कर सकते हैं हम। जिससे आप देख सकते हैं कि अप्रोप्रिएट कॉस्ट से ऑलमोस्ट डबल बेनिफिट है, जिससे कॉस्ट बेनिफिट रेशियो 1:2 तक का है। थैंक यू। Anybody,
Thank
if
you so
anyone
much.
wants to ask any question or discuss, you're most welcome. Kindly let me know.
सर एरिएशन कैसा मेंटेन करें?
हाँ जी।
एरिएशन एरिएशन कैसा मेंटेन करेंगे?
मेजर करेंगे।
एरिएशन एरिएशन आपने
एरिएशन
बोला ना
ऐसे
कि
है जैसे हम
गुड
बेड
एरिएशन।
बनाते हैं। एरिएशन के लिए हमने क्या करनी है, दो चीजें करनी है। एक तो जब जैसी मटेरियल डाल दिया, 15 से 20 दिन के बाद, 25 दिन तक हमने उसको रेगुलर उसको टर्न ऑन करते रहना है। ठीक है।
अच्छा
टर्न ऑन करते रहेंगे, उससे क्या, जब आप किसी भी एक ढेर है, ढेर कोई पड़ा हो, उसको टर्न ऑन करते हो तो उसकी हर लेयर नीचे जाएगी, हर लेयर ऊपर आएगी। तो उसको प्रॉपर हवा मिलती रहेगी, और सारा जो आपका मिक्सचर है इक्वली मिक्स होगा, और अर्थवॉर्म्स भी हर कॉर्नर, हर जगह पे कंपोस्ट के पहुंच पाएंगी।
सर,
तभी जो
टर्न ऑन
मैंने
करने
पिट
में
मेथड
आठ।
बताया था उसमें क्या है कि उसमें आपका स्टिल पड़ा है, बना दी बेडिंग, उसमें अर्थवॉर्म्स कर रहे हैं, ऊपर से पानी डाल रहे हैं हम। वो पानी भी वाटर लॉगिंग हो रही है, और एरिएशन भी किसी साइड से हो नहीं रही, चारों तरफ से इनक्लोज्ड है, हवा नहीं लग रही। तभी वो मेथड कम प्रेफर किया जाता है।
ओके सर, टर्न ऑन करते समय आर्ट वर्म्स को नहीं मारा जाएगा क्या?
क्या
चोट
बोल
लग
रहे हो?
जाएगा जब हम मटेरियल्स को टर्न ऑन करेंगे तो आर्ट वर्म्स को चोट लग जाएगा ना?
नहीं 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 नहीं, ऐसा आप कोई वो नहीं करेंगे। नीचे से उठा के लाते हैं ना हम, जैसे टर्न ऑन करते हैं सिंपल, कोई स्पेड से कर सकते हैं, या आप हाथों से ही कर सकते हो। नॉर्मली लोग क्या करते हैं, हाथों से ही कर देते हैं। तो उसमें कोई ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आपके अर्थवॉर्म्स डैमेज होंगे, या आप किसी हार्ड टूल से कर रहे हो कि उनको अफेक्ट होगा। नॉर्मल आप हाथों से ही कर सकते हो। टर्न ऑन इज जस्ट टू गिव, ताकि सब जगह मॉइस्चर पहुंच जाए और प्रॉपर एरिएशन हो जाए, और सारा मिक्सचर है जो कहीं किसी कॉर्नर में अर्थवॉर्म्स नहीं पहुंचे हैं वहां भी अर्थवॉर्म्स पहुंच जाएं और ऊपर नीचे मटेरियल होके प्रॉपर डीकम्पोजिशन हो सके। तो इससे कोई ऐसे नहीं होगा कि अर्थवॉर्म्स आपके डैमेज होंगे।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
हाँ जी।
Thank you
हाँ
so
जी
much,
पीयूष
sir.
जी।
Ji. Next, if any participant are having any other queries, please raise your hand or you can interact with sir also. Sir is available.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, श्योर, इफ एनीबडी हैज क्वेश्चंस या कुछ वैसे आप डिस्कस करना चाहते हो कोई चीज, तो श्योरली मोस्ट वेलकम।
Dear participants, any of you have any query related to vermicomposting and uh, other organic manures and fertilizers, can ask to sir. Sir is available with us. I think, sir, participants got cleared all the doubts related to vermicompost from your side, as the
ओके।
presentation
सर
was so
सर,
much clear.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
I would
हाँ
like
जी,
to
हाँ जी।
know, sir, are you also providing any earthworms and all?
नो सर, हम मतलब हम नहीं ऐसे कुछ प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, पर ये आजकल मार्केट में बहुत इजीली अवेलेबल है। मतलब कोई ज़्यादा
जी
कॉस्टली नहीं है, मिल
हेलो।
जाते हैं आपको अर्थवॉर्म्स कहीं से भी
जी।
लोकली अवेलेबल मिल जाते हैं। पीपल आर प्रोवाइडिंग एंड कोई ज़्यादा कॉस्टली नहीं है, और एक बार
हाँ,
के लेके वही यूज होते रहते हैं, वही रीयूज होते रहते हैं, एक बार के रीयर करते हैं, मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं। तभी हम रेड अर्थवॉर्म स्पीशीज यूज करते हैं, क्योंकि इनका मल्टीप्लिकेशन रेट बहुत ज्यादा है।
जी।
हाँ जी।
हम लोग राजस्थान में इस साइड में भी है सर, और इवन दो हम लोगों की यूनिवर्सिटीज है और इधर से एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं जो काफी
ओके
वर्मी
ओके।
कंपोस्ट में वर्क
नहीं
कर
नहीं,
रहे हैं।
बहुत आजकल ना मैंने यहाँ पंजाब में भी देखा, बहुत लोग मतलब एग्रीकल्चर ग्रेजुएट्स इवन, मतलब बहुत लोग इंटरेस्ट दिखाने लगे हैं इसमें। मेरा खुद का इवन प्लान है, क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा मशरूम कल्टीवेशन से इंस्पायर्ड हूँ, मैं वो करना चाहता हूँ। तो मुझे खुद को
जी।
ही है कि कंपोस्टिंग का काम, ये वर्मी कंपोस्ट या अदर कंपोस्ट ये करना चाहिए। मतलब कर रहे हैं लोग, पंजाब में हो गया स्टार्ट, कुछ लोगों ने अच्छा काम चलाया हुआ है इसका।
कर रहे हैं सर, हम लोगों के यहाँ से महाराणा प्रताप यूनिवर्सिटी उदयपुर राजस्थान से जो है कुछ यूजी स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं, उन लोगों ने खुद का भी एज ए एंटरप्रेन्योर में मशरूम कल्टीवेशन का भी
हाँ जी,
स्टार्ट
हाँ जी।
किया
हाँ
है।
जी, हाँ,
जी।
नहीं नहीं, दे
और
आर वेरी
इवन दो
जरूरी है।
जी, even though yesterday we have a session for mushroom production and keeping quality and byproducts of mushroom,
ओके
Dr.
ओके।
Dayaram sir,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
he is the project director in Advanced Center of Mushroom at Dr. Rajendra Prasad University, Bihar, Samastipur.
हाँ
Sir
जी, हाँ
has
जी।
joined. और साथ ही उन्होंने उनके जो थे एंटरप्रेन्योर और वर्किंग फार्मर्स, इनोवेटिव फार्मर्स जो थे, इवन दो
ओके।
उनसे उन्होंने उनके साइट विजिट कराई थी। हाँ, थोड़ा सा फार्मर पॉइंट पे था तो वो कहीं ना कहीं टेक्निकली थोड़ा रहे थे डिस्पर्स, बट उन्होंने जो दिखाए थे उनका बहुत अच्छा वर्कआउट कर रहे हैं।
वेरी गुड।
फार्मर
अच्छी
कम्युनिटी में
बात
भी
है ये।
अच्छा इनिशिएटिव ले रहे हैं और
हाँ जी, हाँ,
बहुत
नहीं
अच्छे
नहीं,
से
अच्छी
कर रहे
बात। बाकी सर ऐसे है ना कि ना आज की टाइम में ये चीज जरूरत बन गई है, क्यों? क्योंकि ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज द नीड ऑफ एन आवर। आज जरूरत है और करना ही पड़ेगा हमें, अगर हम हमारी फ्यूचर जनरेशन्स के लिए कुछ सस्टेनेबिलिटी चाहते हैं, तो उसके लिए ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर करना पड़ेगा। और ये चीजें सब पार्ट्स हैं, और एग्रीकल्चर के सिर्फ राइस वीट से निकल के इन चीजों में आना बहुत जरूरी है। और जो ग्रेजुएट्स हैं या कोई पढ़े लिखे हैं जो कर आज के हैं, अगर वो करेंगे तभी दूसरे लोगों को मैसेज जाएगा कि हाँ ये चीज करनी चाहिए। और ये ऐसे भी नहीं है कि कोई आपको, वही है, डबल बेनिफिट है, सोशल वर्क भी है, सोशली भी आप सोच रहे हो, एनवायरनमेंट को, चीजों को सेव कर रहे हो, और प्रॉफिटेबल भी है, बहुत लोग इससे अच्छी अर्निंग कर रहे हैं इन चीजों से। ठीक है, थैंक यू
Yes,
डॉक्टर
sir.
पीयूष, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू जी।
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Now, I think our next speaker has joined. So thank you so much, sir, for delivering your lecture and
थैंक यू,
joining the Just
वेलकम।
Agriculture on the online platform. Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक यू, वेलकम।
Thank you, sir. Uh, Paresh, hello. Dear participants, our next speaker is joining within a while. So please stay connected.
Hello. Yes. So I'm here actually. I logged into the Zoom link.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Because yeah. I just logged in using your Zoom link. Yes, I'm. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Very good evening, sir.
Thank you, Piyush. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the online platform of Just Agriculture, sir. Participants are waiting for you. So before inviting you, sir, to deliver your lecture and motivate, inspire our participants, I would like to just give a brief introduction about you to our participants.
Sure. Thank you.
So, dear participants, today we are having the second speaker as Dr. Balaji Vasudevan, sir. Sir is currently agrobioscience chief scientist at UM6P venture based at Morocco in Africa. And Sir is a globally recognized Agritech thought leader with experience of more than 20 years of Agritech experience in the industries and academia combined both simultaneously. And Sir is driven by a desire to help the companies bringing back through the agri-food technologies to the market that create in a better food and agriculture ecosystem. Along with this, Sir is expertise and interested mainly in background experience in the agri-tech, agri-food technology, agrobacterium biology, crop transformation, GMO, genome editing, cell biology, plant tissue culture, and many more. Along with this, Sir has also been keen interested in various research work, and Sir has a vast experience in this field. And Sir is also uh, uh, published his paper in well-renowned journals, and also a member of editorial board for two journals and reviewer for the eight pre-review journal in the plant science and agro-food tech domain. Also, Sir has been invited an active member and keynote speaker, and also been a panelist in various number of global agri-tech conferences, organization, and career workshop conducted by the prime societies like Global Enzyme, ASPB, ASM, and many more. Along with this, Sir has earned PhD in plant biotechnology from Madurai Kamraj University, India, and worked in 5 years industries in USA and India. At this and three globally reputed university. Sir has also done postdoctoral training was at Cornell University, USA, and Noble Research Institute, USA. At worked at Tel Aviv University of Israel, and has referred 17 international publications in the top plant science journals such as Nature Communication, Nature Scientific, and many more. So we are glad to have you, sir, on this online platform, and participants are eagerly waiting for you, sir. Please bless us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Piyush and Utkarsha and Just Agriculture Organizing Committee for having me today. It's my pleasure to be here today, and I will start sharing my screen now on the topic of crop biotechnology for crop improvement. So it looks like I am disabled in screen sharing. So Dr. Piyush, you need to enable me to screen my share.
Sir, you can share it from your side.
Yeah, but it says it has been disabled now. The host is disabled.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yes, now you can share, sir.
Okay, now I will try one more time. Yes, it is now. Yeah, thank you. Can you see my screen? Okay. So okay.
Yes, sir. Slides are visible. Now you
Okay,
can
excellent. Thank you very much. So the topic of today's presentation is the role of biotechnology in crop improvement. Like Piyush gave me a nice introduction. So in addition to UM6P Ventures, I'm also a main venture partner at 16 Fund based in the United States and India. So first, before I drill deep into the crop improvement and biotechnological tools for crop improvement, I would like to kind of address why, first of all, we need crop improvement. Because as everybody knows, the population is increasing. We need more food throughout the world. It's going to touch about 10 billion in 2050. And there's a lot of effect of climate change on crop production in a variety of ways. There's a huge impact on global food production, and that leads to global food insecurity and hunger and poverty. And this is caused by like wildfires, increased soil content in the soil, increasing temperatures, increasing drought, and sudden flash floods coming out at an unexpected time. And more pest. There's a lot of increased new pests. Pests are gaining resistance to all the type of bio control we have right now, and there's a lot of new diseases emerging and severe diseases emerging that leads to decline in the crop yield and ultimately lead to the decline in the food production. And if you see the NASA's report in 2020, when they say that irrespective of where you are in the world, the global agriculture will be impacted severely by climate change. And we are seeing right now in front of our eyes in all parts of the world. And as a continuation of my previous slide, as you can see, this cartoon explains that right now we are about 8 billion people in the world. In another 20 years, by 2040, 2050, is expected to touch 10 billion. That means you are expected to see 2 billion increase in the global population in the span of next 20 to 30 years. That means what does it implicate? That means there is about 20 billion, 30 billion more mouths to feed. That means more food is needed. You need to double the food production by about 55% by 2050. But the amount of land, amount of water, and all the resources that needs for agriculture and food production is decreasing at a very, very rapid pace globally. And you can see, and because of the way in which the agriculture has been done in all these years, it has caused to immense contribution to the climate change in the form of GHG, global greenhouse gas emissions. About 25% of the GHGs that's emitted globally comes from the agriculture, food and agriculture sector. And as I said, there's a lot of shrinking resources for the agriculture. And you can see 70% of the freshwater withdrawals that's used is for agriculture. And this slide shows the direct effect of climate change on food security. And if you see the cartoon here, you can see the global GDP that comes from the agriculture is going down every single year. Starting from 1965 all the way, if you take the data, you can see everything is going down. This is only up to 2004. Imagine we are 20 years away now, 2024, and this graph, if you extend to 2024, it's dramatically going down, the GDP. On the other hand, if you see the number of people who are in poverty, who are hungry because of the lack of food, lack of access to the food, starting from 2010, you see all the way it's climbing up. It's never going down. Only it's in an increasing trend. That shows what is the effect of a decreased food production, global food insecurity, and that is caused by climate change and other factors. And the World Bank data shows that in 2019, about 135 million people from 53 countries were affected by food insecurity. And that number within a span of 3 years in 2022 increased to 345 million in 82 countries. That shows a dramatic increase, almost 2.5-fold increase in just 3 years. And that number is ever increasing because of the lack of food globally. That's where crop improvement has to be dealt. How we can improve crops? There are a variety of ways to improve crops, conventional ways, and also using modern ag technology or biotechnology. And if you see the ag technology or ag biotech, what is the impact of ag biotech on climate change and food security? There are a variety of ways in which ag biotechnological tools and technologies can be used to improve crops. That could be, for example, to develop a variety of traits in croplands, like it could be a disease-resistant crop, pest-resistant, drought tolerance, nutrient use efficiency, salt tolerance, and which ultimately leads to improved crops that can produce more yield and with less agriculture, and can be grown or cultivated with less ag inputs. So that is the effect of biotechnology on crop improvement, as it can range from food security, carbon sequestration, reduce emission and land conservation, reduce water use, reduce fertilizer use. There are a variety of ways in the biotechnology tools can be used to improve for crop improvement. And if you see what are the driving factors behind this crop improvement, there's a variety of needs. Human needs for food security we need in order to improve the crops, and that is classified. I have put down this cartoon. I prepared this cartoon to kind of classify what are the driving factors for crop improvement. It ranges from crop pandemics, like all we know COVID. The entire world was locked due to COVID, and similarly in human you have COVID, and plants you have a variety of diseases like wheat blast, coffee rust, banana fusarium. There are a variety of rice blasts. There are a lot of crop pandemic diseases which once bruised, it will kind of wipe out the cultivation of the whole crop. So crop pandemics, climate change, global conflicts and geopolitical unrest, and shrinking water and the land resources for agriculture, and the exorbitant cost of ag inputs such as fertilizers, for example. Farmers has to pay a heavy price of fertilizers to kind of grow the crops. So so decreased the human capital in agricultural sectors is decreasing day by day. Nobody wants to do agriculture these days. So that's another factor. And global urbanization increase, biotic and abiotic stress, and population increase. So, and there are many other also in addition to whatever is studied here. These are all directly or indirectly contributes to global security, and these are the main driving factors behind crop improvement. And what are the technologies that feeds into crop improvement or crop biotechnology? I listed out a series of list of variety of technology that grows that can be included or covered under the umbrella of crop biotechnology. That includes GMO, which has been there for about 30 years now, and gene editing, which is there for about 10 years, and it's also Nobel Prize winning technology. And you have plant molecular farming, you have NBT, nutrition breeding, and the synthetic biology is playing a major role these days, and alternative protein sector, biopesticides, biologicals, biostimulants, and biofertilizer, and of course precision agriculture, mechanized agriculture like robotics, precision agriculture, and soil diagnostic, soil health treatment, and particularly post-harvest loss and increased shelf life extension to prevent the food loss. So like that, there are a lot of food traceability. There are a lot of technology that goes into there's a lot of technologies that goes into crop improvement. And these are some of them. Of course, there are many also, but these are the main, I would say, the main ingredients that make up the crop biotechnology umbrella. And if you go back the timeline of GMO and gene editing, starting from 1940s all the way to current 2024, if you see, this chart shows the entire timeline, but I'm not going to deep into that. I want to focus on two particular things. One is 1990s. In 1994 was the first time a GMO, meaning a genetically engineered crop, was first ever produced and marketed and commercialized. That was in the US by a company called Monsanto at that time, which is now part of Bayer. And they produced the herbicide tolerant soybean. That was the very first time a genetically engineered crop was ever released into the world. And following that, there were a lot of other crops that is genetically modified and planted across the world, like corn, papaya, canola, soybean, so potatoes and tomatoes. There's a lot of other things, and that is landmark in the timeline of genetic engineering, 1990s. And when it comes to gene editing, the landmark was in 2019. That was the very first time a gene edited food, in this case a gene edited soybean for high oleic soybean oil, was developed by a company called Calix here in Minnesota, United States, and there was and approved by USDA. Very first time a gene edited food or food crop was developed and marketed and commercialized and brought to the market in 2019. That was the very first time. And after that, you have tomatoes and other the gene edited products at the market. So 1990 for GMO and 2019 for gene editing. These are two important times or years in the history of genetic modification. And if you see what is the application of plant biotechnology, okay, we saw why we need crop improvement and what are the tools that goes under crop biotechnology and what are the driving factors for crop improvement in the previous slides. Now we can see the application. What are this application of plant biotechnology or ag biotechnology? As I told, it can be applied for a variety of ways. To first is food security. That's the main thing. Kind of domesticate the wild crop into a conventional crop that then increase food production, increase disease resistance, and increase variety of important traits. And crop improvement. Crop improvement with the development of all the omics technology, the crop improvement has gone miles ahead, and now you can almost improve any crop for that matter with the application of the modern technology. And biodiversity conservation, that's another important aspect of the plant biotechnology. You have stress resistant crops, and you can restore or phytoremediation of degraded soils. And most importantly, all this technology converges to one point, that is increase food production at the same time decrease emission. This is now the UN SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, like SDG 3 and 13, that's directly linked to food and agriculture production. And crop biotechnology can play a very important role in cultivating crops for food production, at the same time make sure that there is no impact on climate, particularly from the GHG emission standpoint. So in addition to the food, crop biotechnology also can be applied to non-food applications or non-food. In this case, for example, I have put two cartoons here. One is indoor plant to clean up your air, because all the homes, the air inside our homes we breathe is polluted. It contains a lot of VOCs like formaldehyde, xylene, and benzene, and a lot of other toxic compounds. These can be purified using plants, indoor house plants. For example, pothos. And there's a company in France called Neoplants. They are one of the first in the world to use genetic engineering or GMO technology to produce GMO pothos that can clean up air inside the plant. And this is now in the market. You can order it now. It's about $25 or something for a plant. And another aspect is bioluminescent petunia. This is again also available now in the market. It's sold now. You can also buy. From a company called Light Bio, this will glow in the dark because it's bioluminescent. And similarly, these are just two examples. And I have put a cartoon where you can see biotechnology can be used for non-food applications. It could be in the form of material benefits or non-material benefits. To name a few, for example, provide waste recycling and non-material benefits. For example, I can say for aesthetic and ornamental values. Some of this apply to the ornamental plants. And this is an important slide that I want to share, because we talked about GMO. The very first time GMO was ever brought to the world was 1990s, 1994 by Monsanto, 1994, 1996 by Monsanto at the time. From that point onwards, the increased the production or development of GMO crops and its adaptability and usage of GMO crops by farmers across the world has increased exponentially. If you see where are the GMO crops grown in the world, it all started with the United States, and they are the leading producer and cultivator of the GMO crops. 36.6% of the global biotech crop area is in the US, and they grow about 10 different crops starting from corn, soybean, cotton, papaya, canola, apple, and everything. And if you take the South America, there are about 10 countries in South America where have adopted the use of the GMO crops, and Brazil is the leader there, followed by other countries in South America. And Canada is again a very good adapter of GMO technology, and they are the leader in canola, growing GMO canola. And if you go to African continent, there are about 3 countries, Malawi, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. They planted BT cotton for the first time. And recently, Kenya and Nigeria have adopted BT coffee for food. And Europe, everybody knows that Europe is again GMO. And except for very few countries in European continent, most of them are not in favor of GMO. And Spain is one country that grows biotech maize for feed. And if you take Asian continent, China is one of the leader in adopting the GMO technology. And in India, if you take, India has never adopted any GMO for food. The only GMO crop that is grown in India is GM, genetically modified cotton, that is grown for the past 10 years. So there are about 17 million farmers and their family included, amounting to about 65 million people have benefited from biotech crops based on the data in 2019. So there are about 10 countries, so according to the figure here, but there are a few other countries also not listed here that adopted the use of the GMO technology for food production. And if you see what are the number of the GMO crops adopted so far, grown so far, you can kind of classify, there are about total of 440 GMO events as of 2023 adopted and cultivated in the world, approved and cultivated. If you classify them, out of that 153 is for corn. Corn is the leading in terms of the number of the genetically modified events for a variety of traits created so far, 153. And that is followed by cotton, which is a fiber crop or a non-food crop and cultivated in a variety of countries. And followed by corn is you have potato, about 50 units in potato and 41 in canola and 40 in soybean. And the rest are all goes to all the other crops such as papaya, tomato, potato, plum, safflower, eggplant, etc. So this is the GMO approval list of crops so far. And from that, if you kind of see, as I said, corn and soybean always find a top spot in the top 5. So what are the top 5 GMO crops so far? It's a soybean, corn, cotton, canola, and alfalfa. And soybean, USA is the number 1 in terms of the producer, and Brazil is the number 1 in terms of the exporter of the soybean. And corn, again, USA is one of the top countries in the world producing the genetically modified corn. And biotech corn, India is the major producer of cotton in the world. And India also has adopted GMO cotton long back, about 10-15 years ago, when Monsanto brought the GMO cotton to India. And canola always Canada tops the list when it comes to GMO canola. And you have alfalfa, which is for the cows, the feeder stock for the cows. So this shows, the data shows the hectares, the amount of land that was used for GMO cultivation of this variety of crops. As I say, soybean tops the list with 96 million, followed by corn with about 59 million, and alfalfa is about 1.3 million, because that is not used for human food, that is used for feeding cattle. And this particular cartoon shows so far we are talking about the main row crops, and this particular slide shows what is going on in the vegetable and the fruit sector when it comes to GMO and gene editing technology. I want to focus your attention on 2 things here. Papaya was one of the very successful GMO technology in food category, because papaya was the papaya industry was going down because of the papaya ring spot virus about 15-20 years ago. And Dr. Gonsalves at Cornell University was the one to develop GMO papaya resistant to papaya ring spot virus using core protein mediated technology at the time. And it was very successful, and that industry saved about $20 million, $30 million papaya industry. Otherwise, all the papaya in Hawaii in the United States would have not survived without the GMO technology. That is one major achievement here. And you have Arctic apple developed by a company called Okanagan technology. So it is via RNAi. They silence the PPO gene so that the apple stays fresh. Even if you cut and leave it, the conventional apples becomes brown after some time, whereas this apple will not become brown because the enzyme, the PPO, is silenced in this case using GMO and RNA technology. So like that, there's a variety of traits being developed in a variety of crops. And the eggplant is another important success, particularly for the Asia. And you have in Bangladesh is the standard example when it comes to BT eggplant. The eggplant containing the BT gene and resistant to borer insect in eggplant. That's a huge hit in Bangladesh. And this example I want to show, which is a huge hit in Bangladesh. What is the advantage you get by growing GMO or genetically modified eggplant, which is resistant to insect compared to a conventional one? If you take a GMO, if a farmer cultivates a GMO, what is the advantage or benefits he gets? Number one is first of all, the cost of cultivation. There is no need to apply the pesticide here or reduce use of pesticide. And when he cultivates the GMO eggplant, it doesn't harm any beneficial insect, because he's not spraying any chemical to take care of his plant, because it's already genetically modified for insect resistant. And there's about 15% cost advantage and more yield. And the farmland soil is not contaminated because he's not spraying chemicals. And so there are a lot of because there is more yield, that means he's going to get more revenue out of the acreage of eggplant cultivation compared to a conventional one. So this has proved really worth from a standard example in Bangladesh, where people have adopted the use of BT eggplant in the cultivation. And this is another standard example, as I was telling, papaya ring spot virus decimating the papaya industry in 20 years ago in Hawaii. The entire industry was down. Entire cultivation was down. The ring spot virus completely killed all the acreages of hectares of papaya cultivation there. That's where the GMO technology saved the papaya industry using the coat protein meat resistance technology at that time. And now the virus is almost kind of eliminated because of the adoption of the GMO technology, which is again a major hit in the case of papaya industry. And this particular slide shows what is the contribution of GMO and biotech crops from a sustainability standpoint. First, when you use GMO crops, it increases crop productivity, contributes to food, fiber, and feed security, and production cost is less, more food, less spray of chemicals like fertilizer, pesticides, insecticides, weedicides, and everything, and you save the money. And it also helps to conserve biodiversity. And more importantly, because if you use GMO crops, because you are not using pesticides and fertilizers, which is all huge carbon emissions, so you are cutting down on the carbon emissions. And also when you use advanced fuel use, reduce carbon emissions because of the fewer herbicide and insecticide applications. And more importantly, it also reduces the hunger and also the poverty, because if you get more yield, more revenue, as proved from the BT adoption of BT cotton in various countries across the world, including China and India and Pakistan and Myanmar in the Asian continent. And so far, up to 2015 data shows that 18 million farmers in about 28 countries have planted biotech crops, and the number is increasing every single year. And this list shows there are many. I just picked the most important ones and shows what are the GM crops so far has been commercialized. As I told, it's been soybean, corn, and canolas are the leading ones. And other than that, recently, if you take there's a company in Argentina called Bioceres. They are the one to come up with drought-tolerant HB4 wheat. It has been approved and commercialized a couple of years ago. And you have BT eggplant and golden rice from Philippines, which is developed by IRI and the partners to increase to kind of tackle vitamin A deficiency. They have created golden rice. A non-browning apple from Okanagan fruits, and BT cowpea is now adopted widely in Kenya, Nigeria, and other African countries. And we have also virus-resistant cassava in Africa, because cassava is staple crop for most of the countries in Africa. So like that, every single crop, every single country is adopting the indigenous crops are also genetically modified these days. So next we kind of shift from GMO technology, which I have been talking so far, with the gene editing technology, which is the talk of the town now. Because it's also a Nobel Prize winning technology. It's been since 10 years since CRISPR was discovered, and now it finds application every single sector, including food and agriculture. So what is gene editing? Gene editing is nothing refers to targeted intervention at the level of the DNA. Why you have to intervene? Because a kind of a cut or a change in the base can ultimately lead to a change in the trait, in the characteristic of a given organism, in this case, crops. So what are the benefits of the gene editing, and why we should even adopt gene editing? Because gene editing is much more simple when it comes to GMO from a regulatory standpoint, from a time standpoint, from a money standpoint, from approval standpoint. From every single way, gene editing is, I would say, is kind of easy to handle than GMO. And what are the benefits of gene editing? What are the applications? It can be used to tackle all kinds of these diseases. And these are the diseases I picked because these are all kind of classified under crop pandemic category, because this can wipe out entire thing. Already banana is being wiped out by Fusarium wilt disease, and there are many companies working on using gene editing technology to tackle this problem. For example, Tropic Biosciences in UK and Yellow Life Systems in the United States, and many other companies across the world are using gene editing and other technologies in combination to tackle banana Fusarium wilt disease. Similarly, potato late blight is a killer of potato disease. There's a lot of companies working on using gene editing and RNAi technology, like Green Light Biosciences for RNA. And you have downy mildew in grape, again a very serious problem in grape cultivation. And Xylella pest is a super important problem for olive cultivation in Europe. That's why if you see the olive oil prices has exponentially increased in the past 2 or 3 years, because the olive cultivation in Europe is suffering because of Xylella. It's wiping out the entire acreages of olive plantations in Europe, particularly in Europe. So gene editing has a lot of applications. It can be used to develop crops that are resistant to pests and pathogens like this. It can be used to edit and improve photosynthetically efficient crops to kind of sequester more carbon, thereby reducing the greenhouse gas emissions and improving photosynthesis. And it can be used to domesticate all the wild species, so that wild species got a good traits, and it can be domesticated into the conventional crops, and it can be used to improve the sustainability and building so important traits in the croplands. And if you see some of the classic examples of success of gene editing, as I told, in 2019 was the very first time a gene edited product came into the market from a company called Calix in Minnesota. They developed high oleic soybean using gene editing, using talent technology. And in 2019, it was brought to the market under the name called Calino trademark name called Calino oil, which is nothing but the gene edited soybean to improve the oil content. And the following that, Japan also approved the use of gene-edited tomato. That was the second product ever commercialized, and this tomato contains 5x more GABA. GABA refers to gamma aminobutyric acid that is used to regulate the blood pressure. So this particular tomato is for people who are having the blood pressure issues, and the Esanatech seeds from a company in Japan were the one to produce and bring a gene-edited tomato into the market after approval from the Japanese government. And like that, there are a lot of other products in the pipeline, like SU canola, sulfonylurea canola, developed by a company called Cebus for herbicide tolerance, and you have anti or non-browning mushrooms, and you have waxy corn being developed by a company called Corteva, which is very close to seeing the light of the market. In another few years, it will come to the market. And these are the crops. These are just a few crops, and there's a lot of crops where gene editing is going on by variety of across globally. And in India, if we take in 2026, it was reported that in 2026 that a gene editor, which is a gene edited rice, which will be drought tolerant, is going to be released by about 2026. And in India, if you see, there's a lot of work going on using gene editing in India. It could be in banana, it could be in peanuts, rice, pepper, and variety of other crops for variety of problems like biotic and abiotic stresses, and being worked out in India too. And when it comes to the gene editing, the regulatory becomes very important, because it is constantly evolving. Not all countries have laws written or a draft ready for the regulating the gene edited crops. If you see what is the current status of regulatory approval standpoint for the globally, first it was, if you take North America, United States was the first country to kind of come up with a draft, regulate, and approve gene edited crops. So it's all the things in green means it's good to go. They have the draft. And you have Canada, that's good to go. And when it comes to South America, there are about, I would say, 8 countries so far, 8 to 10 countries that are good to go when it comes to gene editing. And if you go to the Europe, except for UK, all the other countries in Europe still have not approved or regulated, have anything in place for gene editing. It's banned right now in Europe. If you take Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, and Malawi, and some South Africa, Ghana, they have the draft for the gene editing regulation. And Latin America, as I told, is completely green, because about 8 to 10 countries okay gene editing there. When it comes to Asia Pacific, India in 2022, before 2020, gene editing was banned in India. But after 2022, now Indian government has approved the gene editing, so now it's good to go in India. And China has also approved, and you have Philippines and Japan, because Japan was the GABA tomato, the second product, gene edited product that come to the market, came from Japan. And Philippines also recently approved gene editing. And if you see Philippines, there is one product coming from a company called Tropic Biosciences. They kind of developed the product and got approval from the Philippines to commercialize their product, which is nothing but shelf life extended non-browning shelf life extended gene edited banana, approved in 2023 in Philippines. So So this is the current status, and this status is evolving every single month. If we go, this map changes because there are a lot of more. There are about 30 countries so far which have regulated, which have the draft or approved gene editing, and the number is increasing every single month. And the other technology I would like to say, which is also gaining importance in addition to GMO and gene editing, is nanotechnology. And nanotechnology finds application in a variety of industries. It could be medicine, pharma, diagnosis, including and food and agriculture. And these nanoparticles, as the name indicates, they are very tiny particles, and they are used in a variety of ways in variety of sectors. When it comes to food security, they are used in animal agriculture, plant agriculture, and in the food processing industry, and also in the food preservation industry. It finds applications in a variety of industries, a variety of subcategories within the global food and agriculture umbrella. And when it comes to the application of nanotechnology in agriculture, and you have something called when it's nano, it can be used for delivering the DNA or even the CRISPR-Cas9 tools and reagents into the plants. And the nano carriers are something which can be used to deliver all kinds of biomolecules like RNA, protein, DNA, anything. And you have nanopesticides, for crop protection, and you have nano fertilizers for crop nutrition, and also you have nano sensors for a precision agriculture standpoint. So these are the applications of nanotechnology, and nanotechnology is gaining super importance these days. It could be in crop improvement and genetic engineering and even soil enhancement. And the waste recycling and food quality and preservation, storage and everything. So nanotechnology is gaining super importance these days. And when it comes to this particular show, this slide shows the cartoon shows how the nanoparticles are delivered. So there are three main ways. One is foliar spray, like how a farmer sprays the pesticide and insecticide, the chemicals, synthetic sprays. Similarly, nanoparticles also can be sprayed by a foliar onto the leaves of the plant, or it can be coated onto the seed of the crops, like how a seed is coated with the biopesticide or with the synthetic pesticide. You can also coat the seed with nanoparticle applications, and also you can mix the soil with NPs, nanoparticles, which can improve plant health and tolerance to drought and salinity diseases. And nanoparticle and you can see, if you see the ag biotech, like gene editing in particular, and now there is a lot of research going on in delivering gene editing tools using nanoparticles, and there's a lot of success that has been reported already. And now from academic, that particular technology is being translated to industry. As you can see, this nanotechnology, how it uses, as I told you, when you say the nanoparticles, if you take the nanoparticles, you can kind of mix those nanoparticles or nanocarriers with the DNA and the protein complex, and use the nanoparticles to be delivered into the plant. That delivery could be both biological and non-biological. Biological means using agrobacterium. Non-biological is using physical methods such as gene gun or electroporation or PEG or chemical mediator. Then once it enters the cell and crosses the cell wall barrier, enters the cell, and then it does what it's supposed to do. For example, if it is carrying the CRISPR-Cas9 tool, then it will do the gene editing for creating a trait in a crop plant. So nanoparticle mediated gene editing is gaining super important, along with the virus induced gene editing is called VAG in one hand. Nanoparticle mediated gene editing is also gaining important on the other hand, because people are coming up with the technology where instead of developing a gene edited crop in the lab using tissue culture, which is a time-taking process, they're developing technology to just spray the nanoparticles that contains the gene editing reagent, so that the editing can happen right there on the field. So to conclude the presentation, some of the key takeaways that I want to talk about is that one is climate smart agriculture is the key now. Everybody is talking about climate smart agriculture these days, because you have to produce more food, but at the same time you have to make sure that it doesn't do harm to the environment and it doesn't lead to any more GHG emission. And that's where there's plant biotechnology, agtech, and agri-food tech sustainable tools can play a big role in increasing food production at the same time contributing to climate change adaptation. So what are those technologies? Those are genetic engineering, gene editing, nanotechnology, synthetic biology, precision agriculture, and whatever I listed in the slides. And there are many more 30 plus technologies. Combinedly, it used to be used in combination to kind of improve plants so that the plants can adapt to the increasing number of challenges posed by the climate change. And there should be a consortium of modern biotechnology tools and democratization of all the tools available to particularly the developing countries to increase the productivity of the world. And more importantly, improved infrastructure, improved research effects, and there should be the knowledge gaps, the technical gap and the knowledge gaps should be filled by collaboration, by industry, academia partnerships, and increased investment from the investment stakeholders into the food and agricultural sector. That will help to create the process of generating crops which can adapt to this changing climatic conditions and increase food production and tackle the global hunger and poverty. So with this, I'm going to end my presentation and I'm open to taking questions from the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So, dear participants, sir is available with us. If any of the participant is having some query, you can kindly write it in chat box or can unmute yourself and interact with sir also. Dear participants, you can write your query in chat box also. Sir is available with us.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. May I have a question? Why
Yes, sure.
why India and other country have not adopted GMO or gene editing crops?
That's a good question. Yeah. India did not adopt gene editing.
They are on a research mode only.
Yes.
So far I have received that information.
What is that? Can you repeat that again? I did not
I'm
hear.
repeating on research basis, government has allowed.
Yes. Yes. When it comes to gene editing, now India is open to gene editing like the US. Until 2022, India banned gene editing. That means you cannot bring any gene edited product to the market until 2022. But in 2022, the government of India officially declared that it approves gene editing as long as gene edited product is developed via there are three major categories or three different ways of making gene edited crops. It's called SDN1, SDN2, and SDN3. As long as your gene edited crop is made via SDN1 and SDN2, you are good to go in India. The government will not treat your gene edited crop as a GMO. So you are good to go as long as you satisfy certain conditions. And if you develop a gene edited crop via SDN3, that will be treated as a GMO. It will be seen as a GMO and that is banned. Okay, it's the same in the US too. The top two SDN1 and SDN2, you are good to go in India from 2022. It's good. In GMO, there's a lot of factors that goes into why India did not adopt GMO food. It has adopted GMO feed crop, like fiber crop, for example, cotton. There's about more than 15 years, India has been cultivating GMO cotton, which is not, we don't eat cotton. It's not for human food consumption, but it is for fiber, right? So that has been adopted by India a long time ago. For food, India has a variety of reasons why it's not from it's mainly from a political standpoint, because other stakeholders in India are pressurizing the government and other stakeholders involved from the political angle to approve the use of the GMO food crop. But India is still kind of a little bit adamant. But I think in the years to come, India will definitely is going to approve, because with 1.4 billion people, you have to use the modern technology to increase crop production in India. But because India, if you see the water table in India, the global heat map, India is one of the severely affected country in the world with reference to the availability of water for agricultural purpose as well as for the human drinking consumption. So India has to, there's no other way out for India. In the coming days, in years, India will definitely approve GMO food. So at least that's my opinion. Because it was like that for gene editing. India was not open to gene editing at all. But they realized that if we don't, India will fall behind or stay behind when it comes to global agricultural food production compared to other countries. For example, take China. China 3 days ago, China approved gene-edited corn for an insect drought-tolerant gene-edited corn was approved by China a couple of days ago. There was a news that came out. So similarly, other countries are all progressing very fast. So India, in order to catch up with other countries, it has to approve modern technologies. At least it is good that in 2022 it approved gene editing, but I'm also very positive that in the years to come it will also approve GMO for food.
Sir, one question in my mind. The crop grown from the days from the years ago, that is going on the ecosystem basis. The crop grown and the variety grown on natural selection. Is there any chance of any environmental degradation due to gene-edited crops?
Environmental, what did you say? Environmental?
Environmental condition. There may be a chance of environmental degradation in anything.
Environmental
Ecosystem degradation.
I don't think so, because when it comes to gene editing, you are not changing anything. If you see the technology of gene editing, if you see what is the difference between a gene edited crop and a non-gene edited crop, say potato, tomato, whatever you are trying to edit, all you are doing is few base changes or certain bases, few bases are lost. That's all it is. You are not even adding any foreign gene. There is no foreign gene or a foreign DNA element added into these gene edited crops. What it's exactly like, changing some words in a paragraph. That's it. You are changing the DNA sequence, and not sequence even some of the base pairs or bases within the gene or a non-coding area of a gene in order to bring up a trait. It could be a disease tolerant or drought tolerant, whatever it is. So this doesn't have any effect on the environment. That's for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you,
for
Piyush.
addressing the query participants. Next, still, if any participant is having any query, you can please
Good evening,
unmute
sir.
yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, biotechnology is good, sir. But I need some clarification. So, biotechnology is a GM crop. Is a impact of human health or not, sir?
That's a very good question, and many NGOs and many anti-GMO people across the world. It could be people, or it could be even organization, or whatever is that. I've been raising this question for the past 30 years since the GMO crop was first ever released and marketed and commercialized in 1990s. But recently there was one study that was published, And this study it's a peer-reviewed publication, and it was the study they took. They kind of did this study for traced about 25 years about the GMO crop usage and what is the impact of GMO crop usage on human health and environment and many other standpoints. The study concluded that there's not even a single piece of evidence that shows that if somebody consumes GMO crop, they fall sick or they fall ill or they die, at the extreme. So all this fear mongering and all those things are all not science-based. The science-based data clearly shows that there is no any such effect.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question, because that question is being raised by
So
all
one
the
side,
people.
so many benefits is there, sir. Another side, some scientists told you for so many infection for human health, and some article is there.
Yes, yeah. But if you see, that's why this particular piece I'm talking about is a global study for about 20-25 years. This is a consortium of scientists globally published in a super good impact journal for the past. It's a global organization that did this study for the past 20-25 years about the global usage of GMO crops. And there's not even a single piece of report that that shows that GMO, when you eat a GMO crop, you are going to a doctor, you feel ill, or you're going to a doctor's office, or in the extreme case you even die or anything like that. No.
Yeah, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes, Nagarani ma'am, you can please ask your question. We have unmuted you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone there. Good evening, Balaji. How are you?
I'm doing good, Nagrani. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just wanted to clear one doubt. It's not my doubt, it's a general doubt. Like what I hear, no, people say, but it's humorous quite. Okay. What they say when you put a gene from a foreign body, like from any other source, it's like in a plant system, right?
Mm.
It doesn't stay vegetarian, it becomes non-vegetarian. How far this is right? I wanted to know this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's from a common man standpoint, they they have these kind of doubts, yeah, I don't know how to even answer this because it's kind of humorous stuff here. Yes, I have seen in some of the
I want to give you scientific justification for this so that no common man should not get into these kinds of like facts you say, or non-scientific facts, so that we can
absolutely.
create awareness with our
Yes.
whatever the knowledge we have from the scientific community. That is what is my intention here.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. That's where, if you see from a global standpoint, the most important piece of thing, the work that is going on from gene editing and GMO people, the industry who is developing this technology and the food products coming out of technology, is that they're having a separate team or a separate organization. They have partnered with global non-profit organizations to depart what is the consumer education, because consumer acceptance is the end of is at the end of any product development. If a consumer doesn't accept your product, however good your product is, it's going to fail in the market. So consumer acceptance and consumer education is becoming a key. If you see in the past 10 years, if you see all the publications, all the data related to consumer education, consumer acceptance in accepting synthetic biology, in accepting gene editing, in accepting GMO, like cell-based meat, precision fermentation-based milk protein or egg protein, or any kind of this bioengineered food, there's a lot of good positive data coming out of the consumer education. Consumers are now okay. There is some of the consumers in the Western world, they say that they are also okay to pay even extra penny or extra dollar if the food is one, healthy. Number two, it is sustainable. It doesn't contribute anything to the environment. Like animal agriculture, they're okay with eating meat that is, or animal meat without an animal free meat that's coming out of plants. So consumer, and the same thing with GMO. People have had some negative thoughts for all these years, but if you see the latest reports, the latest data for the past 5 years, 10 years, if you see, the things have changed. The consumer, there's a huge increase in the consumer mindset, and the same accounts for gene editing and other technology. They say that we are okay with eating gene edited crop as long as they are now being educated. They are being in a simple terms. What is this gene editing, and what does it do? It does to the plant, and what does it does to you as a consumer when you eat or when you consume that gene edited product. So there's a very big positive shift in the minds of the consumer globally, not just in one country, globally.
Thank you so much for giving so detailed point, so that no audience can, all our scientific people here, so they know, but a common man, they need to understand these facts.
Yes, really, yeah. But if you see in Europe, the plant-based food, plant-based meat or plant-based fish or anything that is plant-based, if you see the grocery shelves there, it's almost the number of stacks or fridges or any kind of storage material in those grocery stuff, where plant-based stuff is almost as equal the conventional meat, previously you can see hardly one product out of plant-based technology. Now, in Europe and other places, it's almost equal, and also it reached the price parity. Because when you want to bring all these bioengineered products to the market, 3 things has to be checked. Otherwise, it won't be successful. Number 1 is price parity. It has to be affordable to the consumer. So price parity box has to be checked. That's number 1. Number 2 is taste, texture. It has to be tasty, and the texture should be there. So taste, texture, price parity, and most important thing is access to that food. It cannot be available only in one store somewhere in one city. It should be easily accessible. So these are some of the and consumer acceptance, of course, education. So these things has to be checked box, and any of these bioengineered product which kind of ticks all these boxes, the criteria, those products will be eventually successful. They will find some friction in the market entry initially, but as time goes by, it will be adopted. Like plant-based, all these food in Europe, it's almost there in the market, every market, and people are ready to buy that because it has touched the price of the conventional product. In some cases, it's below. The prices have fallen below, actually lower than the conventional meat, for example.
One more thing I wanted to want that to come from your end. I wanted to ask one more thing. How vaccines are different from GMOs? Is there any correlation there? How the vaccine is made? Vaccines. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
When you
I
see
can hear you.
vaccines are also again a part of some organism only that we are again inoculating into human body, and we are trying to get immunity against particular disease. When
Yes.
common man is ready to accept these things, then why there is so much of what you call
Resistance.
what word I'm not hesitant in
Hesitance.
accepting the same for GMOs.
Yeah,
Is
that
there
is
any
because
difference according to you?
yes, of course. The one simple difference is from a consumer standpoint, you are not eating via mouth. It's not like putting your food on the plate and consuming 3 times a day, like a meal. The 3 meals a day. Vaccine is like 100 microliter of a shot given in your arm. It's like a medicine. So people don't care about that. Particularly now, they want to protect themselves. For example, COVID is a recent example. Like it's a mRNA vaccine. It's just mRNA made. So because it's a shot, it's just like a medicine. People are ready to take pill, like it's a bitter pill in the form of a tablet or in the form of a shot. They don't go deep dive into what is the shot made up of, what is inside the shot, whether it's a GMO or non-GMO. All those things are forgotten because it's a medicine end of the day. That's all they care. They want to protect themselves from the disease or a COVID, for example. They're ready to go to any extreme. But here, this is like a food they see in the front of their eyes in the plate or anything, they eat. So particularly because they hear all this kind of nonsense coming out from all the fear mongering people, and people who are not science based and all those things. They just, for some political reasons, they want to score some political points and all those things. They instill some kind of fear without any piece of data just into the common man. And common man, unfortunately, we can't blame them, because most of them, they're not exposed to all these things, and they don't have any means of go on referring to some papers or studying and all those things, any data points. That's why it is the duty of the people in the academia who is working on this technology in academia, and people in the industry are working on the same technology, even non-profit institute, all these multiple stakeholders involved in the ag biotech as a technology. It is their responsibility to take this technology, to go and devote some time to educate consumers in in a kind of a simpler language, use simpler language, avoiding all these technical jargons, and explain to a layman terms about this science to them. And there you can see improvement. And as I told, in the past 5 years, 6 years, if we trace all the data coming from a consumer education or consumer acceptance standpoint, it's really positive, because I have seen those data myself. I have presented that in many other forums too. There's a very good improvement. Even in Europe, Europe is the #1 country against GMO. Even there, I see a trend in the shift in the minds of the consumers towards GMO. There's a lot of data coming out from that also.
It's kind of more of shift in mindset is required along with the awareness and education, little bit of education that is required for them to understand
Yes,
why it is good and what is bad for that.
Of course, yeah, because that's why all these NGOs, non-profits, government, investors, scientists, academicians, everybody should join hands in a kind of in taking this technology to all parts of the world, particularly to the rural areas, rural areas, suburban and rural areas, where they are not exposed. They don't know what is this. So that's where you have to, these people should go and deliver some lecture or some kind of a common forum or something like that to educate those customers, and they explain to them in the most simplest languages they can understand.
It's kind of pre-marketing of whatever the products we are going to bring into the market.
Yes, absolutely. That's why
that is where we fail as of now.
That's why if you see every industry, particularly the big ones, they have a separate team, separate department to take care of this: marketing, branding, and consumer education. So that department joins hands with variety of stakeholders in a given market, in a given country, before they bring the product to the market. They do a lot of this education-based technology. For example, the company I used to work with, Greenlight Biosciences, before, they are the first company in the world to bring RNA-based crop protection technology to the market. There's not even a single product in the market out there in the entire world, and this will be the first product to take care of potato plants against Colorado potato beetle. All that you have to do is that the farmer has to spray the RNA to the plant, like how we spray a chemical pesticide. Instead of chemical, it just sprays the RNA. That's it. And then the RNA is going to take care of the potato plants against the insect bug called Colorado potato beetle. But this product is new. No farmer has ever used the RNA so far in the world. So he doesn't know what is this RNA, how to use, how to manage, and anything. He has been used to 30 years with chemical. Now he has to shift towards using RNA. So he has got a lot of doubts in his mind, whether it will work, whether if I put the money on that, I will recover the product. It's going to protect my potato plant against the bug. You got a lot of doubt. That's why Greenlight Biosciences, along with some other agencies, have done kind of throughout it, particularly because the initial market is the US. They have first covered all the major potato growing areas in the US. They went there and then did some workshop and all those things to explain what is this product, how it works, demonstrate a video, demonstrate in the field, take the farmer and ask him to spray with the help of trained people. So training, the adoption of the new technology, direct in-form or on-form training is necessary, not just giving a lecture in a computer. Just take to the field and show how to use directly on the field That is important. And the farmer doesn't look at this graphs, data, pie charts, and all those things, right? So he has to see with this eyes. Okay, I spray something. After 5 days, 6 days, I come. The plants are healthy. It is not damaged by insect. Then he believes it's working. So you have to have a on-farm training to the farmers, and he can believe what he sees, because what you see is what you believe. End of the day, no data, no analysis, all those things is going to work with the farmers. He has to see end of the day, because they are the ones who grow the crop ultimately. So those kind of things are going on, are adopted by all the new companies. Strategy is shifting. Muted.
Yeah, it was nice interacting with you after so long, I guess. And no, it feels so like no, proud to see you once again.
Thank you, Nagrani. It was
Thank
nice
you
to
for
meet you.
no, interacting and discussing about the doubts or questions or discussion I had
No.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it is my pleasure to talk to people who are in the same area, doing the same kind of work. Yeah,
Maybe we
excellent.
can catch up later
Sure,
sometime.
sure, absolutely. We will. Okay.
Yeah, it's all from my end. So you can continue.
I think if there is any more question, then I will take this opportunity to thank Utkarsha, who is the vice president at Just Agriculture, because he is the one who is often communicating to me. She's the one who invites me, who communicates to me via WhatsApp or any other form of communication. So first, I have to thank Dr. Utkarsha, and now Dr. Piyush, and any other members I would have missed of the Just Agriculture Committee and Just Agriculture Magazine for giving me an opportunity to come and share some of the things that's going on in the Agtech. And it was great to hear some questions and thoughts and feedback about this particular Ag Biotech from the participants. Yeah. So Ag Biotech, as I said, no country can resist this. There will be a lot of doubts and a lot of pushbacks and all those things. Eventually, it has to be approved. There's no other go. If the country doesn't, if any country, for whatever the reason, if it doesn't approve or doesn't adopt, they are going to fall behind, and the people living in the country is going to pay a lot of more prices for the foods. That's the reality. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Maybe hoping to see you again shortly in another forum or another event. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening, Sri Nilay Jyoti, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, Mr. Rajani.
Sir. Let me introduce you briefly for the next session, sir. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Very good evening, all of you. This is Sandeep Tata. I'm Chief Executive Editor for Just Agriculture. I welcome you all to the last session of our Agritech 2050 Next Gen Training for Agripreneurship and Innovative Horizon. Today we had two previous sessions by famous and distinguished personalities so far. And now we are heading to the next session, the final one. So first of all, let me take the opportunity to introduce our speaker of the hour, Shri Nilaya Jyoti, sir, who has 30 plus years experience as a development professional, working with the national level NGOs and development programs supported by bilateral and INGOs, government, vulnerable groups, farmer producer organizations, CBOs, and with grassroots communities. And sir has a strong experience of project identification, project planning and development of rural development projects, poverty alleviation, and proposal writing, etc. And some of the achievements are Sir has acted as a chairman for Affiliate Authority, NREGA, Government of Andhra Pradesh, evolved into leadership positions in non-profit sector and successfully led several initiatives, worked as a middle and top management professional, and also headed NGO organization which is named as Ashray and led a number of networks of forums for the socio-economic upliftment of Dalit communities in Andhra Pradesh, which is combined state of Andhra Pradesh, and also organized and attended number of trainings, workshops, seminars, etc. in India. Currently, Sir is working as a principal consultant for Sankalp Advisory Services, and also Sir has worked as so many in firms and a consultant with Ashray and Living Waters, Navajivan Organization, and Sankalp Advisory Services, etc. during 2018 to 2022. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite Sri Nilaya Jyoti sir to address our students and to give an insightful talk to us. Sir, now I welcome you on stage. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajni, for the time. And yeah, there is some disturbance here. I think it's from me only.
Sir, one device you need to keep in mute.
Yeah.
If you are using both mobile and computer, so please keep your mobile in mute and use the computer for audio. No, sir, you are not audible. You are in mute. Technical team, could you please
am I
help,
audible
sir,
now?
Yes, sir, it is clear now.
Yeah, because my computer is audible, there is some problem. That's why I'm using my mobile for the audio and for the video I'm using this. Nice meeting
Yes,
you, the team here and the participants. Nice introduction, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I'm very happy to. I'm also the chairman of Appellate Authority for Manrega. That's the top kind of a tribunal for the Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. There is a Appellate Authority at the state level. I'm the chairman of that, which means that we have a responsibility to ensure that all the job card. Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Sir, you are audible. There is some disturbance. Let me mute.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, it is clear now.
Thank you. Now, I think.
Sir, again, you are not audible. Some disturbance is there. Hello.
Is it okay now? Hello?
Yes, sir. It is okay. Yes, sir. It is audible now.
Yeah. Now what I'm doing is I stopped my laptop. Now I am talking from the mobile.
Okay. Sure.
So today I'm going to talk about the farmers producers organizations, which are the most empowering factors for the small and marginal farmers with respect to enhancing their productivity, with respect to getting better income from their produce. These are the areas that I'm talking now. I have sent a small PPT Would you be able to do it? I send it to your WhatsApp. Would you be able to open it, sir?
Sir, just please wait.
Yeah.
Technical team, could you please present the PPT on screen? Sir, our team is on work. Just hold for a while, sir.
Okay, now I see the farmers producers organizations. Otherwise, I can as well open from my mobile, my system, and make a presentation. That's also possible.
We are trying, sir. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, sir, fine. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, would you be able to introduce the audience to me in the sense, not by names, but by what are their positions and
Yeah.
how are they?
Sir, most of the people who are attending this training program are from agri background, who are agriculture graduates, and some of them are postgraduates, and some research scholars are also there. So, and some people who have working professionals are also there, but everyone are connected with agri and allied sectors. So these are the participants we have. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So I will not get into the technicalities because most of them are highly educated and graduates and postgraduates in agriculture. But I am trying to supplement the work that they are doing with the communities. I think my major focus will be how are we going to involve the actual farmers to get into the agriculture activity, to make the agriculture activity as a profitable activity. So I have my PowerPoint presentation. I don't know whether it's been open now. Otherwise, I'll start presenting it from my mobile. So can I just start talking, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now the farmers producers organizations a holistic development approach to self-sustenance of small and marginal farmers. I am focusing with the small and marginal farmers. The Food and Agriculture Organization in 2006, they made a statement saying that farmers organizations are essential institutions for empowerment, poverty alleviation, and advancement of farmers and rural poor. So the farmers organizations are required because the small and marginal farmers as individuals, they cannot be able to make a profitable business out of the agriculture. And at present, the agriculture is in the very bad situation where people are not able to sell their own products at the rate that they wanted to sell. So the major focus is that the farmer who is producer of his products should be able to control the market and sell his products at competitive price, not the minimum support price. With that concept, the farmers producers organizations have been emerged to empower the farmers so that they can decide their price by themselves. So the suggested models for this are legal framework that are available is Cooperative Act of several states of their own cooperative acts. And in Andhra Pradesh, we have mutually aided cooperative society, where we are forming mutually aided cooperative societies with the farmers. That is what we are doing. We have this act in 1995, Mutually Cooperative Society Act. And now we have the farmers producers companies are being registered as companies in 2000 Companies Act, 13 Companies Act, having objects of 383B, which means the objects and activities and objectives should be in 387B. And there are also possibility of forming the FPOs under NGOs Act, local NGOs Act. But preferably it should be in companies cooperative, either Cooperatives Act or Companies Act, so that people's involvement will be there much. Now, what is cooperative? A cooperative is an institution, an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. This is what International Cooperative Alliance says about the cooperative. I am talking in the cooperative perspective, so that the people's involvement will be, because the farmers can be the owners, the controllers and managers of this cooperative. What are the cooperative principles that we are binding on this? It is a voluntary. Any member who wants to be a member of a FPO can join us as a voluntarily. It's an open membership. It's democratic member controlled. So most of the decisions are taken not only on the majority basis, but on the consensus basis. They resolve the issues. They have different opinions, but still they discuss and finally take a decision. Member economic participations. In a cooperative, I think economic participation is one of the major activity that needs to be projected. Autonomy and independence. And education, training and information. This is also important. Cooperation among cooperatives, concern for communities. These are the cooperative principles. Now, the goal of this cooperative is to say at least we have to start with 700 members to see that this becomes a sustainable model. Minimum 700 farmers should be there. From each family, there will be one member. And it has to be, see, in our place, what we have done is, at the village level, we formed into farmers clubs like that, farmers interest groups. We call it as FIG, farmers interest groups at the village level. Then the village level cooperative, village level bodies are federated at the block level as mutually aid cooperative societies, and that is the registered body. So then what type of products that we do when we are working with the small and marginal farmers, the major thing is that we cannot depend on only one product. So it will be multiple products: millets, spices, pulses, fruits, vegetables, and non-timber minor forest produce. Then the other area that is important, very, very important, is build really very good governance. Build very good governance so that the people take responsibility, the members take responsibility and run their own institutions, facilitated by people like you or like us. So our role as professionals is to see that the people at the bottom become leaders of their own institutions and run economically viable institutions of farmers producers organizations. So what are the steps for registering FPOs or FPCCs? Preparation of bylaws by the chief promoters. So when we decide about an area, so the chief, mostly the local NGOs or people like you will promote the farmers producers organizations, and that will be, we have to identify 9, 12, 15. Why I said 9, 12, 15 is because in a cooperative, every year there will be elections. In the elections, 1/3 of the members retire every year. So the best thing is, if you have 9 people, 1/3 retirees, 3 people will retire. So next 3 people will join as the board director. That's why I said 9, 12, 15 members from the farmers community with good leadership qualities. Preferably the promoters should be from different villages and blocks from within the area of operation, according to our own commitment. Ensure that at least 35 women participation should be %. Women participation is very important because major chunk of the agricultural activity has always been done by women compared to men. So that's why I think we need to involve women as members, as board of directors, and also at the various levels, including the staff level. We have to see that at least there is 50% of women participation in this. Then after identifying the board of directors or the promoters, then we'll call for a meeting of the proposed promoters and explain them the purpose, scope, and importance of FPOs. Why we are starting this FPO? Why do we need this FPO? One, the release of the farmers from the clutches of the local money lenders and the seed companies and the buyers, because the present market is always, it's a buyer's market, not the seller's market. So the middleman will come and dictate pricing and buy it from the farmers. So that one needs to be done. That is the main purpose, to see that they get better price and low investment, high yield. These are the ideas that we are promoting the cooperatives. Then read bylaws in the local language. We have to, we always have to keep it in mind that, the bylaws, if we are starting with the local communities, it has to be in their own language, not in English, because they should understand what are these bylaws, what are the aims and object of this FPO, so that they can take part in that. Then sentence by sentence and take approval. In this case, the chief promoter could be from the promoting NGO. Since most of you are from the agriculture background, professional background, you can be the chief promoter, having the people around you as the promoting members of the FPO. Collect share capital and membership fees. Initially, the share capital should be 100 rupees and the membership fees should be 10 rupees. But now that 100 rupees has become very small. We can make it as 1,000 rupees and the admission fees is 100 rupees. Admission fees, you can use it for the administrative expenses, but never ever we should use the share capital for the administrative expenses. That is very important. Any share capital that is being collected should only be invested on productive purpose, either as a form of the loan or as form of the, mostly it is a loan to the members for their agriculture activity. In this case, it is agriculture activity. Supposing we have 1,000 rupees being collected as share capital, if there are 700 people, so that whole amount has to be used for the people who need money for their investments. Now the question comes in, why share capital? Share capital talks about people's participation, people's ownership, people's, because once they pay share capital, they will know that, oh, this is our organization. We are promoting this. So they take ownership as well as responsibility for running these FPOs in a profitable mode. Then prepare final draft of the bylaws and meet the district cooperative officer, take her or his advice for guidance. I think it's always good to go and meet the local officials, especially if it is a district cooperative officer and NABARD district development manager. For each district, there will be a NABARD district development manager. Go and meet him or her and explain this purpose of starting this FPO or FPC. They would, because if you involve NABARD right from the beginning, there will be a lot of advantages of getting access to their resources. They would pay administrative cost and the promotional costs, and later for the business development plan. So involve NABARD and the cooperative development officer initially. Also, you can meet the concerned thematic officials like the agriculture department people. If you are starting a fisheries cooperative, meet the joint director of the fisheries in your district or deputy director of the fisheries in the district. They are dairy cooperative, farmers cooperative. So those kind of areas, you have to call the subject experts, thematic departments, or line departments, involve them, take their advice and incorporate their advice in the bylaws for the business development plan. Prepare final copy of the bylaws and call for promoters meeting, which will be attended by representatives of the district cooperatives. So after preparing the final bylaws, we have to call for the promoters meeting, read it before the cooperative officer, because once that man also joins in, your hands are strengthened in the form of legal compliances and statutory requirements. That person is only the person who register your cooperatives. Pay challan accordingly and submit the final bylaws to the district cooperative officer. Call for promoter meeting after getting the registration. So after paying the challan and everything, submit the proposal to the bylaws to the district cooperative officer and see that they are approved and the cooperative society or FPO is registered. Then after getting it registered, then again call for the promoters meeting of the registered side, just to explain them show them the registration certificate and registered bylaws, then formalize the board of directors and conduct elections for the positions of the president, vice president, and so on. So after your cooperative or the PO is registered, then call for the promoters who have signed in the initial stage, then conduct elections for the president, vice president, secretary, board of directors, so that that becomes a formal functioning of the first board of directors meeting can also take place after that. Then this board of directors will appoint the required management staff, especially the chief executive officer and the required staff based on your financial situation. So this is what. Then open bank account with the president and the vice president and the CEO. Start working this. These are the steps for registering FPOs and FPCs. Collaborators. Who are our possible collaborators? One is the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, Department of Horticulture. If you are doing horticulture activity, horticulture cooperative, you can involve the horticulture department. Department of Animal Husbandry. If you are doing dairy activity, involve them. The Ministry of Food Processing also possible collaborators. Indian Institute of Millet Research. If you are going to work on the millets, involve the possible collaborators could be the Indian Institute of Millet Research based out of Hyderabad. Then you have in our own places, you have NABARD, as I mentioned to you, NABARD at the state headquarters, and each district will have a district development officer at the level of AGM, Assistant General Manager level, who will be sitting in the district. So consult him and he will take his, then farmers agriculture, SFAC is also there in Delhi. Then NSTFDC, National Scheduled Tribes Finance Development Corporation is in Delhi. Then if you are working with the tribals, it is better to take hello.
Sir, you are audible.
Yes. Sir, I'm audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is a small farmers agri business consortium based out of Delhi. You can also take their collaboration. And NABARD, you can take collaboration. NSTFDC, you can take collaboration, and financial institutions like banks and cooperative banks. Then also there is managed in Hyderabad who are really promoting agri-business, young people as agriculture entrepreneurs. So maybe you can tie up with manage your own organization now can tie up with these people and take the collaborations from them. And definitely Sankalp Advisory Services has got very good team members. Maybe your organization can use our services. We'll be very happy to partner with you. So what are the expected outcomes of this whole activity? So 700 tribal, small or other small and marginal farmers, tenant farmers, non-timber minor forest producers, collectors are organized into an efficient and effective cooperative for holistic development of members like skill development, knowledge, economic and social and cultural. This is the institutional building of 700 people. I am telling minimum 700 people in a period of 1 year. We have to mobilize that so that will be the minimum viable number that we can start working with that. Then 700 members and their family members. What are the social entitlements that we can have? 700 members and their family members avail their entitlements 100%. Once we become a cooperative, we will not only work on agriculture, but we will also involve other land departments and take their support for ensuring that all the entitlements that are meant for the farmers are being taken. For example, we'll go and talk to the primary agricultural cooper societies and get feed and fodder, especially seeds on subsidized rates. Then we will involve agriculture department for our agriculture implements, which highly subsidized things, so that their entitlements are being changed. Job cards for Narega. When we are talking about small and marginal farmers, I think Narega is very, very important factor. I'm telling you today, because in Narega, it's not only the wages. For example, now it is Narega, 300 rupees is wage days. Supposing you are working with small and marginal farmers, anyone who is about 21 years is eligible for having Narega job cards. This person is entitled to get around 30,000 rupees in a year as wages. Not only the 30,000 rupees, another 40% of the wage money can be availed as material benefits. Like, if it is 30,000 plus another 12,000 rupees. No, 30,000, yeah, around 12,000 rupees. So totally around 40 to 50,000 rupees, each family can avail under Narega for their as a supplementary income and assets building income. Then since they are part of the FPO, we'll also take old age pensions, go to the government and see that all our members have old age pension, ration card, Aadhaar cards, voter cards, etc. Because a cooperative only doesn't have to, while the economic activity is a very important factor, other entitlements also can be availed as a collective from the government. Then all the schools and colleges students accessed pre-metric, post-metric scholarships. Why I am writing, you may be very surprised why this man is talking about pre-metric, pro-metric scholarship and all. Because it has to be a holistic approach. Cooperative has to be a holistic approach. In fact, in our cooperative, even we used to give money for the pregnant women. And we say that, if there are now government is there. So we used to give eggs to our cooperative is to give 1 egg to the pregnant women, lactating mothers. We used to take care of that. So the cooperative has to be a holistic approach. That's why I put it in the pension, school fees, and all those things. Then all the cooperative members will have access to the who are eligible for housing will have that, and basic amenities are ensured because we are in a collective action. 25% increase in agriculture. Of course, we are talking about 50% double income, 50% income, but at least to start with, we will have definitely, though we aim for 50% minimum, at least success rate could be to start with 25% income. 50% enhanced income through horticulture activities. All 700 farmers have bank account, backyard poultries, hence ensured supplementary income. Members involved in non-timber managed forest get 25% enhanced income, because as you know, if you are working with the tribal areas, the amount of exploitation is nothing less than highest value of exploitation is taking place. So if you really organize them, non-timber managed forest produce has got highest market value in urban areas, especially in towns. So that could be provided having links in the towns. Then members involved in NTF get 25% enhancements. Convergence of various support systems, since we are a cooperative. Investment in our agri plus activities on time at high subsidized rate of interest. Relief from money lenders, hence no distress. I think the most important thing is, once we organize as a cooperative, we will not have any distress sales, because we are a cooperative, and we will have the members of the cooperative will have kind of a small warehouse where they can keep their products and sell the products when there is a price, competitive price. Input markets, shops owned by FAJ, farmers interest groups, and subsidized and better price. See, we have worked out a model called input marketing. Input marketing is basically, we promoted with the farmers interest groups in the village. Each village, we have identified one enterprising boy or girl from the FPO's members' families. Then we kept input marketing, like, all the agriculture inputs, like tarpaulin, like crow rod, like any agriculture activity, including the all agriculture activity related items have been kept in one place, and they are getting the best price compared to the market, and also the good quality. And they will they don't have to travel to the long distance to collect their agriculture implements. So this is input marketing we are doing, and ICT in agriculture sector thus access to information. I was working. I'm still associated with a software company called Sources Systems Private Limited, which is providing technology to the to the farmers, right from the soil testing to the entire value chain in agriculture, like the geo-tagging of the farmers' lands, geo-fencing. The entire land is being fenced through the mobile system, so that the land is being measured there. The crop during the crop time, it is being recorded, and if there are any diseases, that they are directly referred. So that kind of an ICT that we have been doing, or we are doing in several parts, and I am associated with. I worked there as a senior vice president for a long time. Then after that, because of my other schedules, I am now advisory. I am taking advisory role there. Ensure warehouse and processing units. So once you become a cooperative or a FPO, there are a lot of subsidies available from NABARD to set up warehousing and processing units at the district level or at the block levels also. Ensure better market for products and access to the markets. I think our ultimate goal is to see that the farmers have access to the markets. Their travel cost has been reduced because they are a collective. They can demand for better price because they have the aggregation is been done in one place, and their distress sale could also be avoided. So these are the expected outcomes. Then services provided under FPO. Input supply assets, seeds, fertilizers, and machinery, agriculture machinery. Financial and technical savings will be there because they could involve the savings also, because it's important, and their own share capital amount will be there, which is in rotation. Then credit is there, insurance could be there, extension services are the financial and technical services that are available. Then value addition and market linkages and go downs. Procurement. We will procure the FPO will procure the farmers' products at competitive price. I'm not suggesting the minimum support price, because were we to say that minimum support, when the outside market is, when the Reliance and the other markets are selling at the price that they decide, why the farmer can't decide about it? So we use competitive price. Processing is could be done in one place, and marketing will be done by the FPO team, or people like experts like you could invent or explore new possible markets. Governance and capacity building and network. Members' education is very important. Leadership building, statutory requirements, and network. So in a cooperative society, these are the services provided in FPO. A holistic approach, as I've been talking about, to a family. One family of a FPO can have Manrega, which will contribute around 50,000 rupees or minimum 30,000 rupees a year. Farming in our own lands and leased lands. Member is a member in FPO. Is a member in FPO itself is an assertion, because being there is a lot of difference between being an individual farmer to a collective farmer. Then that is for the for women. Then we have, that is for the men. Then we have compulsory education for the children. We have skill development program, employment and employability, pre-metric scholarships, post-metric scholarship for the children, both girls and boys. Then for the women, we have backyard poultry, piggery rearing, kitchen gardens, non-timber managed forest produce, NREGA. When both men and women can work in NREGA. One job card for family, but both can work there. Then lease formula they can work, and she's a member of a SHG. So her own income from the SHG and this FPO could also be clubbed together for their immediate financial needs. And women, senior women, I'm telling the women in the sense the mother of a family or mother-in-law of a family can avail old age pension and social security measures. So this is the holistic approach of the family. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And now I have taken almost like 40 minutes. We are left with another 15 minutes or 20 minutes to take. And this is just initial introduction of this. Then there are several things like bookkeeping, accountancy, governance, board of directors meeting, annual general body meetings, preparation of the business development plan, and collaborations with various departments. That will be taken up in other stage. But initially, I mentioned about the legal structures that are available, legal frameworks that is available, and the how are we going to set up the bylaws and prepare the bylaws and make people to ready for forming the cooperatives under the FPO, I mean, forming the FPOs under Cooperatives Act or PCs, we can say. I mentioned this up to the agriculture activity level. Now we are going, later we'll talk about post-production management in the next sessions, if there are some opportunities. Thank you very much and look forward to listening your queries. Hello?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I request any of the participants, if you have any queries, could you please post it in chat box?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let us wait for a while for Q&A session. If any questions are there, let us go with it, sir.
Yeah. Otherwise, also I will respond to them on the later stage. Now they can
Yes,
also
sir, sure.
post it. Yeah.
Yeah. So far, sir has briefed us regarding FPOs, farmers producer organizations, a holistic development approach to self-sustenance of small and marginal farmers. And sir has also covered some of the topics like steps for registering FPOs and what are the bylaws that need to be prepared, and also what are the NGO representatives. Everything so far, sir has given all the details regarding this FPOs, and also some of the goals for promotion of FPOs for small and marginal farmers. He has also talked about collaborators and expected outcomes. And also has given so many insights like the supports that were extended by Manage and some other organizations, which we have gone through. Like in the previous sessions, also some of the experts we were given the insights regarding that the programs that were organized by Manage and some other organizations in support of this FPOs and other startups. So, and also, sir has also briefed about institution building and social entitlements and infrastructure and FPO's core activities and the other expected outcomes. Everything, sir, has clearly mentioned, and also he has given a quite insightful talk to us. So now, if any participants are having any queries regarding these FPOs and the lead sectors, you can ask any question. You can type in chat box.
So I just wanted to talk, sir, but the people who have attended this, are they going to be the agriculture entrepreneurs, or are they are interested to be the, that's a kind of an idea that they are here, sir?
Yes, sir. Most of the people are connected with agri sector, and some of them are they wanted to build. They wanted to join for a new startups. They wanted to become into the agripreneurship and all these things.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I think, yeah,
If
initially,
any queries are there, yes, sir, please.
initially my session, since I didn't get any chart, I have another 5 to 10 minutes. If they can raise, I'll be happy. Otherwise, initially it's good that, they focus in one geographical area, or they wanted to focus on one product or multiple products. I think those kind of areas we'll discuss it later.
Yes, sir.
Today, yeah. Then later we will have an opportunity to talk about what is the difference between governance and
Yes,
management, and what are the skills
yes,
that is required to run a cooperative. What are the ICT
yes.
that is required there? So those are kind of areas we will introduce sometime later.
Sure, sir. So definitely. And
Yeah.
with this, let us conclude this session for this hour, sir. Thank you, Shri Nilay Jyoti sir, for giving a quite insightful talk to our participants, and we extend our heartfelt thanks for joining us. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir. Bye.
Yeah,
Have a nice time. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Now we have come to an end. So all our sessions, the expert talks of today, were completed, and now let us move further for valedictory of this whole 15 days international training program, which is Agritech 2050. Now, before going to the valedictory and before proposing the formal vote of thanks, I would like to invite to share some words, to share a few views with us. I would like to invite Dean from Sklsthu, that is the Konda Lakshman Telangana State Horticulture University. Sir, are you online?
Yeah, I am online.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
So, welcome you, sir. I welcome you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy that Just Agriculture has organized a 10-day program, training program on various aspects. I think more than 1,000 candidates attended this program daily. Very useful program. And I am happy that our university is also a collaborator for this program. And the topics covered are very wide, starting from cultivation aspects of individual crops like dragon fruit and all, to mushroom production. Then we have hydroponics and also artificial intelligence and all other advanced and very interesting topics. I hope there's a lot of learning during this program, and all the candidates who attended have benefited through this program. I congratulate Just Agriculture, their team, and I hope they organize such programs, more such programs in future. And we are also ready to collaborate with them in all their programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable words, Dean, sir. And thanks for the word that always SKLTSHU is ready to collaborate in the future endeavors. And we are also very happy to collaborate. And also, we are highly privileged to be collaborated with Konda Lakshman Telangana State Horticulture University. And thanks for extending all the support from the university side in conduction of this 15 days international training program. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And now, for all the participants, now it's time for our valedictory. So we have come to an end for this whole 15 days international training program. So we are in the valedictory session of Agritech 2050, a next gen training program for agripreneurship and innovative horizon, jointly organized by Sri Konda Lakshman, Telangana State Horticulture University, and Just Agriculture Education Group. Once again, I am Dr. Sandeep. I'm here, pleased to be here on behalf of Just Agriculture Education Group to convey our gratitude and propose a formal vote of thanks. So the main aim of organizing this 15 days international training program on Agritech 2050, a next gen training for agripreneurship and innovative horizon, is to develop participants with the knowledge, skills, and tools necessary to thrive in the evolving landscape of agriculture through agri-tech innovations by the year 2050. I hope we have achieved it at the end of this training program. We have come to the conclusion of this 15 days international training program. Some of the major topics that were covered in this training program includes mushroom cultivation, hydroponics, women-led agri startups, FPOs, artificial intelligence in agriculture, drones in agriculture, youth in agriculture, technological innovations to revolutionize Indian agriculture, dragon fruit farming, beekeeping, precision farming, precisely using the resources that are available for agriculture, and drone technology, artificial intelligence and machine learning in agriculture, and controlled atmospheric cultivation, advances in storage patterns, and also blockchain technology and in the supply chain, and value addition in food technology, and etc. So many topics that we have covered so far, and I hope all the participants have acquired enough knowledge from all the sessions of this training program. And without any further delay, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our chief patron of this 15 days international training program, Agritech 2050, Professor Neeraja Prabhakar ma'am, who is Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sri Konda Lakshman Telangana State Horticulture University. And also, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to two persons. One is our visionary leader and organizing director of this course, Dr. DPS Badwalji, CEO, Just Agriculture Education Group, and also the course coordinator, course director, Dr. Mohit Bharadwajji, General Secretary, AEEFWS, and Just Agriculture Group. And also, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the dignitaries, chief guests, international delegates, higher officials, industrial experts, agri experts, keynote speakers who have spared their time to share some views regarding this agri sector and also the innovations that are being advanced in the agri sector. So I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and everyone. And also, I would like to extend my thanks to the students that who have students or the participants or the registered people who have been highly enthusiastic towards the sessions that they wanted to attend, and also who are actively participated, and also who have actively asked the questions, and also who actively participated in Q&A sessions. So I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all the participants also. And let us give applause and heartfelt appreciation to all those who contributed to making this event a grand success, and also not last but not least, so all the team members of Just Agriculture Education Group, each and everyone who has hosted the sessions and who have gone through the groundwork of this making this event a grand success. So each and everyone has contributed equally, and I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of each and every team member of Just Agriculture Education Group, and also the persons who have extended their support from the knowledge partner, that is SKLTSHU. And finally, I would like to convey my gratitude to everyone for taking the time to join us all these days and for assisting us in making this event a huge success. The teamwork is always appreciated, and all the hosts and each and everyone who joined in this whole program. Uh, thank you so much to each and everyone, and let us all meet in the next training program or next conference that we are going to organize in the near future. With this, I would like to conclude and thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Over to the technical team.
Session is over or any formalities are remaining? Am I audible?
Yes, session is completed. Session is completed.
Okay, no problem.
Sir, shall we leave the session?
Paresh ji? Yes, the session is completed, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.